Marcus. All right. Hey, everyone. Hi. Welcome back. Welcome back. How are you guys doing? All the awesome gamers and streamers out there. Welcome back to the Gamers ABC podcast. It's our third episode. And thank you guys for your patience, for staying tuned with us, because we have a little hiccups back there, but it's nothing serious. And I think we're still on time, right?
Pretty much.
So oh, I look like a scowless
Your forehead's
guy on the
sinking into the
screen.
void.
Yeah. So maybe I'll just adjust a little bit. That's okay. Okay. So first of all, I would like to wish every Malaysian out there happy Malaysia Day. Yay! It's our day in our country that we celebrate the establishment of the Malaysian Federation. And talking about today, the topic of discussion is defining the success of streaming. So I have invited this awesome and dopest streamers on Twitch to join us today to share with us the insights and also the experiences of their streaming career. So I'll go ahead and let them introduce themselves. Why not, Vulcan? Why not you go first?
Hello, I'm Vulcan210. As far as dopest streams, I'm not sure we watch the same streams, but thank you. I'm a variety streamer from the US. Actually in Wisconsin right now, but happy to be here.
Okay, and Nathan, why don't you go next?
What's up, guys? Aqua Kazoo here. Some of you know me as Aqua Kazoo back in the old days of Dragon S. I've seen some people recognize me in the chat. But yeah, now I'm known as Kazoo Aqua, which is actually the origin of the name in the first place. But yeah, I do mostly MMORPGs, FPS, and trying to go competitive in CSGO right now. Yep. Nice to meet all of you.
Okay, but last but not least, Varkas.
Hi. Not many of you know who I am, but quite a few. I'm a local here streamer in Malaysia, and I've been streaming for the past 9 months. And I've landed myself on partnership on the 7th month itself. So yeah.
Congratulations. We'll come to that more later about affiliation and also partnership. But I would like to tell you guys, this episode I will do it a little bit different. Oh, for you guys, new people out there who doesn't know about this podcast, I meet Joe Fair. Go by the screen name, and I am the host and organizer of this podcast. It's monthly, so I'll be doing topics like such as technical or knowledge based, and also awareness topics. So this episode we are doing an awareness topic, which is about streaming as a career. So I've put all the question in this mason jar. So what I'll do is I'll randomly pick them and direct it to our podcast guests to share it with us, so that we don't miss out every one of them. So yeah, I'll go ahead and pick the first question. I think I added like a few more, like 2 or 3 more questions, so you guys can. Okay,
Might as well try to change things up.
Yeah. This question. This should be like at the end or as the closing question, which I don't want to pick on the first one. But anyway, I think I will let Vulcan go first with this question. What do you say to future streamers or gamers who wants to start streaming?
Whew. Okay, starting with the end. Well, I mean, first of all, go for it. Like, don't let anything stop you for trying it out. If you think streaming might be for you, there's very little to be, lost in giving it a shot. I would say it's particularly if you don't have an in already, if you don't have maybe you're part of the pro scene, or maybe you have connections, or just whatever. Starting from the ground up is hard. It's not an easy thing to do to make a community. What you're trying to do is really difficult. And that's something to step back and remember, particularly maybe after a day hasn't gone very well, or maybe you haven't met a goal, that kind of thing. What you're doing is hard. And I would say finding success in the small things. If you start out day one and the only goal you have, your first goal is, okay, I'm going to get partnered, or I'm going to get 1,000 subs, or I'm going to get something like that, you're going to burn out before you get there, because that's a little ways off. That's a big goal. It's an okay goal to have, but start small. Start something you can get 50 followers, get 10 viewers, get whatever, and then work your way up. I mean, always have that end goal in mind, but don't start out thinking, oh, I'm going to be partnered next month, because you're gonna be disappointed, and you're gonna burn yourself out before you get to the end. It's I think the phrase is, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And I think something I was going to share in closing, something like personally for me, the first big kind of, we have something on Twitch. I don't know how it works on the like YouTube side of things and that sort of thing. We have hosts or raids where at the end of your stream, you send over all your viewers to, the next person, or to somebody else to watch their channel. And the first big raid I ever got that was more than, just a couple of people coming in, I think Dead by Daylight had just come out, for those of you who know that, and I'd been playing a lot of it, and I had somebody drop 200 or 300 viewers into my channel out of nowhere, which was the first time I'd had more than like 15 people in my channel, period. And it was also the day that I finally got 100 followers. I had like 200 people in there, which was terrifying, to be honest. And I went back and I looked at why this person chose me at the end of their stream, which I would encourage, if anybody gets to that point and somebody ever hosts you or raids you, go look at why they did that. Go look at what they saw and why they chose you out of the lineup of everybody in that category. And the reason I got picked was, hey, this guy looks like he's having a lot of fun. This guy looks like he's having a good time. Let's go raid him. And that was it. And I think that's the bottom line right there. Whether you're being competitive, whether you're being interactive, that having fun, having that energy, having a good time, enjoying what you're doing. That's what it's all about. That's really my personal kind of. I kind of try never to forget that.
Okay.
What?
How about Kazu? Is it a different scenario in Singapore for you? If is there ever any viewers of yours or any gamers that you come across that ask you, oh, what do you have advice or tips for kids like me that want to start streaming? So do you experience that?
Actually, I just got one today. Yeah, he's
Mhm.
actually a guy who is very young, 16 years old, and he's playing CSGO competitively as well. He's doing very well. And he was like, hey, Kazu, I want to try streaming. Can you tell me the settings and stuff? So regarding the original question, right, but what can you tell, future people or streamers or gamers who want to start streaming? I personally feel that streaming is a lot about knowing yourself, about self-discovery. And I learned a lot from Vulcan's sharing, by the way. Certain things about why people pick to rate you and all that kind of stuff. Actually, that's really, really good insights. But I think ultimately it's all about knowing who you are. Because if you know who you want to be, you also know what kind of stream or what kind of streamer you want to be as well. And I think the most important thing is, I think a lot of gamers and aspiring streamers, they look at successful people or streamers and they try to copy what they do, but they don't realize why they are the way they are. So they're actually being themselves for the most part on their stream. So my advice to anybody that wants to become a streamer or a professional gamer or anything is you just need to know yourself. Because once you understand who you are and who you want to be, it will show on your stream. Because anybody can pretend to be very energetic, very, very hyped, very, very, funny on the stream. But if that's not who you are, like the Vulcan said, it's a marathon. It's gonna take a long time. If you're pretending all the time, it's gonna wear you out. And one day it's like a ticking time bomb and you'll be like, I'm done, I'm not gonna do this anymore. So that's what I realized about in Singapore. Because in Singapore, there are many, gamers who are affluent. They have the computers. In Singapore, we have the internet. Infrastructure-wise, we are definitely not shortfall. So a lot of Singaporeans are actually very quote unquote a little bit self-entitled. So this is one of the contributing reasons as to why they give up very easily, because they feel like it was given to them very easily. And the reason why they give up very easily is because they don't know what they want. They don't know who they are. So my advice is figure out who you are and who you want to be in life, and then determine the kind of stream you want to have after you know who you are. So that's my advice.
Okay, cool. We are experiencing a bit of technical issue there. I think Marcus
I'm
just
actually back.
Oh, okay.
It's back.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. But thankfully we still have the voice. So you guys didn't miss anything other than facial expression. So welcome back, Marcus. Yeah, that's a good point. So getting back to this question, for Marcus, what do you think of the Malaysian community when a younger or even an experienced gamer wanted to start streaming? What is your advice and tips to them?
If it comes to advice and tips, it's looking into, first and foremost, because of what I'm facing right now, internet. This is no joke, to be fair.
Okay.
If you look in the urban areas and the places where there are a lot of busy people, so they have proper internet. There is fiber internet connectivity. Where I'm at, it's bit hard to get it, and that's what you want to secure first. Whether you have that internet capability, then if you're gonna dive yourself into streaming, to more than just gaming with friends and your teammates here and there, I advise you to have fun first. You don't want to go in and say, yeah, this is who I want to be, this is what I'm going to become, I'm the next, whatever you want to call it right now. People are going to call it the next PewDiePie, the next Dr. Disrespect, the next what's his name, Summit 1G. My advice, have fun first, and your community will grow and grow. I think Vulcan did mention it, that you're gonna go have fun first, and then you're gonna build it up. Then you start making your goals, or your first follower
Right.
goals, your first viewer goals, and then you're so on your other goals. Then when you get affiliated, and when you want to really take it seriously, you start doing more work. Taking it to a point where you want to invest more into it. Not just the time, but you're gonna probably put in a bit of cash into it as well. So. In summary, I would say that you're going to dive into this. It can be a hobby, it can be a profession, it can be a career. It's your choice.
Okay. So looks like the summary would be you have to be yourself. Definitely don't be somebody else. Don't try to be somebody else. You have to have fun doing it, or else like you must be loving it. Then you'll be doing it. You enjoy doing it more. And of course, for most of the streamers that people gain viewership because of being who they are. They show themselves, not trying to be somebody else. And also, if you're really, really good at what you are doing, like a very competitive, like what Nathan or Kazu is doing, then you will also be attracting a lot of viewers as well because you are really good at what you're doing. So and on top of that, you need to have a very stable network as well, or internet. So yeah, that all sums up, and then the only thing left is for you to decide whether you want to go into it or not. I remember when I first met Varkas, I did ask this similar question, and he said just do it.
Yeah.
If you have all the above, I mean you met all the criterias, why not just do it? Just go for it. So yeah, for guys out there, if you're new and you're thinking, or you are even an experienced a gamer, if you want to start streaming, just go for it. So yeah, I will go on for the next question. Let's see. Okay.
Next question, Hype.
So if you guys, I want to remind you guys, if you guys have any questions out there, just tag any one of us, Meet Joe Fair or Vulcan _210, Vakas or Kazu Aikawa. So just tag us so that I can it'll bring attention to me. Then I will read your question on air. Okay. Okay. Oh, this is also another tough one. Get ready, Vulcan.
Please do.
Oh boy,
I want to hear this.
we're getting
Okay,
cross-examined over here.
With your current state, I mean your streaming career at the moment, what are your future plans to bring your streaming to another level?
Okay. So, first of all, keep on doing what I'm doing. I think it's been effective keeping a schedule, keep streaming. I think one of the big things is just to keep at it, just to keep working at it always. And there's always ways to improve. I've been full time for 100 and some odd days now, and nobody's figured out yet that I still don't know what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna keep doing it. I've been looking at adding some sections to my stream outside of the normal hours. I think somebody's coined it as Vulcan After Dark, but name's still a work in progress. But I don't normally, because I play a lot of RPGs and story games and single player stuff. Chat doesn't always get to join in. My viewers don't always get to play with me for things. So I've been trying to work in a stream about once a week where I play, whether it's like Jackbox Party Pack or Golf with Friends, or just things that people can jump in and hang out and interact a little bit more, kind of get things going. I tend to do some 24-hour streams sometimes, which, as anybody who hangs out in my chat will tell you, I think I owe about 3 24-hour streams.
Wow.
So 72-hour stream hype. But I try to do some of those. Those are always a lot of fun. And I think next month, I'm going to TwitchCon for the first time ever, thanks to my awesome community. I'm able to actually attend. So I'm super excited to see that, maybe pick up some things, see some of the panels, and kind of bring some of that back and put it into use in my own stream.
Wow,
Nice.
congratulations on the achievement that you're going to TwitchCon.
Hey,
That's
thank
good.
you. I'm
Congrats, dude.
so beyond pumped about it.
Yeah. So, how about Kazu? What are your thoughts? You know, what are your plans for your own streaming career?
For me, I think, and for a lot of streamers, right, one of the parts about streaming that is actually what I call part of the risk involved in streaming is that sometimes there's just not a game or games out there that fits into what you actually want to stream, and there'll be like a period of what we call like there's like a vacuum. Like I think a lot of big streamers right now find that if they don't want to stream PUBG or if they don't want to stream some mainstream games like Overwatch, that they actually don't have anything that they feel that they stream that people care about. So again, I always go back to doing what you want. I mean, who you are and what you want to do. So for me, right, previously I was I would say MMORPG based streamer. So what I do is I try to bring my community from one MMORPG that I play into another MMORPG that I was going to play as well. And I even dived into mobile games as well at a point which was last year, which was a game called Seven Nights, and I built a community around there as well. So I think ultimately you have your own ideology or the type of games that or the type of community you want to build on your stream. So for my stream, what I do is I wanted to create a community where my stream is a place where people can just hang out, you know, they can talk about some of their hardships in life, they can share some of their joys, which includes the game that you are streaming or you used to play or you are going to play in the future. For example, you know, in mobile games where you open a pack of cards or you try to summon a hero, you get rare heroes and stuff. People come in, hey, Kazoo, I just got this hero in this game that you play, and they're very happy to share that. Or they also share that they spend a lot of currency or money in that specific game, wherein that they didn't get that kind of thing. So when you find that you have a vacuum, right, just look into games that kind of have the same genre or the same type of things that people enjoy or celebrate about, and you try to go into them while you're waiting for the next I won't say the next big thing to come up, because not every next big game that comes out you'll be able to stream. But for upcoming streamers or small streamers like myself, we always look into something new, because you know, like how there's a lot of established League of Legends streamers, there's a lot of established PUBG streamers or Overwatch streamers. It's very hard to get into games on Twitch that already have many popular streamers. So whenever something new comes out, that's your best chance, because that means that there's no content created for those games. So for me, how do I, you know, survive the drought? That's what I usually do. I try to find games that go in line with what I usually do, and instead of trying to, you know, tunnel vision or beeline on a specific game, this is something that I learned through the hard way. Yeah, because I started from Dragon S. I everything I did was Dragon S, and one day I realized that this game was going to be gone in a sense. Then I had to move on. Yeah, I had to move on. So, you know, I went to Blade, and so I even tried to play games that I couldn't understand when it comes to the language. I played Korean Maple Story 2, which is also another MMO.
Wow.
And I was just hopping here and there. And while that is going on, I just continue to try and build my community, which is, you know, targeting the MMORPG gamers, the mobile gamers, you know, or the what they call the weeaboos or the anime people, right? They like this type of games, and continue to slowly build up your community. And ultimately, I do have a small community, but like-minded people in this community. And now in my Discord channel, right, there's like Seven Nights text channel, and people are chatting there already. I don't play Seven Nights anymore, and my viewers and my YouTube subscribers know that I don't create any more Seven Night content. But that text channel is still very active, because I've helped connect gamers from different parts of the world together to actually be able to, you know, enjoy the games that they want to play together. So yeah, I know I kind of went off topic, but yeah, I hope I answered the question.
That's good.
Sorry about that.
Thank you for your very experienced answer. I appreciate that as well. I think it helped many streamers out there, and also even the viewers, those people that watches other people stream, to understand why it happened and why you chose to, so why you make that decision. You know, so coming to Marcus, I understand that there are things happening in your life right now.
Yeah.
And share with us, what are your future plans for your stream?
I think my future plans would be to have a fixed foundation. Like to many people, when they start off their streaming life, those who catch on like bigger games or games that they got the most attention from, and a lot of people just went in. their success goes up really high. Mine started like most normal people. We start really low. We start from the common. You think like, oh, just start with CS or Minecraft. I actually did Minecraft. Not very proud of it, but okay. Then comes to a point that you still need that foundation of getting an actual foundation, diploma, a degree. You still need that side of your life still. Those who cannot grasp everything from streaming. So, I'm looking for jobs, I'm applying here and there. I came back from an interview about a few days back. I'm still waiting for a reply. Hopefully I do get it. And when shifting states as well, connectivity, where you stay is going to affect you so much. So for me, it's going to be like very minimalistic, but most of my streams would be focusing on having a good time with my friends. It used to be like, non-stop streamings, 12 hours, more than 12 hours, 24 hours. I think, Nathan, you did say you did like 3 of them, right? If I got that right, 24 hours, right?
Not me. I think it's Vulcan. He said he owes
Yeah.
his viewers.
Yeah,
72
yeah,
hours.
I was
listening
24
wrong.
hours.
Okay. Back in my day, when I remember, I did 5, and they were nuts. One of them were a connection between, and it was insane. And
Those are a blast.
just now for myself is to see how my channel would grow from a variety sort. I used to focus on very much on just gaming. Now I'm doing creative IRL and a lot of weird stuff. Recently I went to Penang. I tried to do an IRL stream. People enjoyed it here and there. My brother fell down on the road. It was funny.
He's banned, man.
And I want to see how the channel would grow for myself as a variety streamer, because from what I know, it's difficult. And I'd like to
Yeah.
see how that would challenge me.
Yeah, it's I have to congratulate you as well, because you're going back to school and you just got your scholarship, right? So congrats on that. It's really good to get yourself back to school, get yourself equipped, and also education as well. And we have to be grateful as well, as this platform, like for example the Twitch one, it doesn't have the limitation for you to only do gaming. But there's IRL, there's social eating. Recently, I got into social eating and also even cooking as well. You can actually stream your cooking, share your recipes, share your your mom's recipe to the world, and yeah, from that you could get a lot of followers as well. Even people would subscribe to you for future reference or future recipes. So yeah, that's really a good one, guys. So if you see your followers or whoever pointing or directing question to you, you may also answer them in the chat room as well. I appreciate that. So we going forward with the next question. That's a really good one. Let's see. Okay, this is more like it. This is the first question that I should ask.
Okay, go.
For Vulcan, when did you start your streaming career?
I started, let's see, not this past February, but the previous one. So a year ago, February, it was what year are we in? February 2016. I went part-time. Started streaming a couple times a week. I had done 1 or 2 streams before that, but it was like without a webcam or a mic or anything. It was just me playing Halo because I was playing Halo. This is an experiment, but in February was when I really started kind of doing some part-time stuff and tried to put a schedule and stream, okay, I'm going to stream 3 times a week, that kind of thing. And then in April, I think it was, of that year, so a couple months later, was when I started streaming full time. I had recently moved, and this kind of goes back to what Varkas was saying about maintaining the other sides of your life too. I have a computer engineering degree, and I had started my master's degree, and so I was taking online courses, and then I would stream during the day, which allowed me to have a mostly full time schedule. And then it started growing from there, and I've kind of maintained that ever since.
Okay. How about Kazu? When did you start your streaming career?
For me, it's quite a long story, but I actually started full-time streaming about 2 years and 7 months ago. I spent about a year full-time on Hitbox, which is another streaming platform, and it's a very realistic reason as to why I was there, because Hitbox simply had a easier partnership requirement. Because the thing is, I actually held full-time jobs before I actually decided to go full-time streaming, and before that I was like saving up and stuff. But once you decide to go full-time, right, you have to ensure in a way that you're able to sustain financially. If not, you have to continue to do part-time, right? That's why you do part-time streaming, and then you do your daytime job, that kind of stuff. So when I decided to go full-time streaming on Hitbox, I have to make sure that I at least get the sub button. And this sub button thing is very important to a lot of streamers, and I'm going to share a little bit about it. But basically, I streamed a year on Hitbox full-time, and I was very lucky to meet an acquaintance on my ex-opponents in Counter-Strike Source back then when I was competitive. He actually he had the contact of the Southeast Asia Twitch lead, which is the guy that helps people get partnered in Southeast Asia, if I'm not wrong. And he gave me his email. So the interesting thing was I could email him, and I could email another person or acquaintance that I know, which is Tammy Tang. She's known as Furry Fish. For those who actually play Dota 2, I'm quite sure you're familiar with her. She was in the free-to-play documentary, and I had an email as well. So I have to decide whether I should email her, which I think I know a little bit better, versus the Southeast Asia Twitch lead. I decided to email the Southeast Asia Twitch lead in the end, and I just told him I've been doing this for a year. I have this YouTube channel with this number of subscribers. Here are my stats. But the real reason why I'm doing it is because I have this passion. I really want to live out my dream of being able to do what I love as my job in life. And I love to play games. I love games, and I'm very passionate about video games. And if I can, if I can become a full-time streamer and be a successful full-time streamer, then that will be like my dream in life. And I think within the day, I emailed him in the morning, and I got a reply in the evening that he just replied very shortly. He just said, yeah, sure, I'll help you get partnered. And a week later, I got my sub button. And from then on, I wouldn't say the rest is history, but I continued streaming on Twitch for another year and 7 months. And I think the longest subscriber I have on my channel right now is 19 months. So that's about 1 year plus 1 year and 7 months. So 2 years and 7 months. So that's about when I started streaming.
Okay. That's really good news. Congratulations on getting partnership, because that's everyone's dream. What about Varkas? When did you start your stream? I think you said that earlier, but we want to hear more.
For me, it was last year in August, and I kind of drifted apart from doing the normal things I used to do, go out and just help out my friends, and went on to uni and everything. And then just one day I had the essentials, I had the internet, I had the normal laptop, I had the gear, everything. And so I just started like, hey, why don't I try streaming? I've got break now for like 2 weeks, let me try it out. Essentially after that 2 weeks, it became very, very much easy to just click a button, go live, have fun, and a few hours later you're done, you feel good about yourself. And more and more on, I did a lot of streams. I went on since August till February, it was for 12 hours every day, without fail. There will be like short like breaks in between because I'm dealing with real life stuff. And in February, the best thing happened in my chat. Now, many people right now, if you see the new update, you see affiliates. They have their own emotes, and certified people, partner people have that tick badge, and those who have the prime, they get the crown. And those who did bits, they get those bid badges. So Before that, the very rare icons you would see is a Twitch staff, which is a wrench or a global mod. And I had those two people come in my stream in February this year, and they said, "Hey, we have reviewed your partnership application, and it looks good." So I thought it was prank. I'll rephrase it. I really thought it was fake. Really thought it was fake. Given it a while, a month later, I get the email saying that congratulations, you're a partner. I stared at my computer for 2 minutes saying, this is fake. This is so fake.
Fake news.
Then it happened like 3 days later, getting the sub button. And I joke you not, a month later, it was March. 2 days later, or was it 4 to 5, almost a week, affiliates program rolled out, and I was like, what a coincidence. Now everyone gets a sub button. Oh, cool. Okay. So it took like a month or two until when the icon came up. Then people said, oh, you're not affiliated. Oh. It just became like the thing that, you know, when you play a game and you're playing with your friends, and when you're not streaming, there's this little monkey scratching your head that something's wrong. Something don't feel right here. You're not going to play if you don't stream. That's what happened to me. And that's how I got into like full-time streaming for myself.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's really that's really a fun experience, right? So anyone that received the confirmation email, they were like, "Is this real? Is this for real?" I had a few stories from other streamers as well, but I think partnership and also affiliation is really an honor. The streamers that can get, and it really does help the streamers grow and also to sustain the streaming career as well. So yeah, that's a good one. That's a good share, guys. So moving on to the next question. Do we have some question on the oh, okay.
Chat?
Yeah, let's do this from Kekemon. Kekemon is asking you guys how to get Twitch to notice me. Anyone would like to give it a go?
Interpretive dance.
I could go. I could go. For if you're talking about the legit way, you're gonna need to network a lot.
Okay.
And this being said, you're not gonna go to social medias and say, "Hey, I'm streaming. Hey, I'm streaming." Then you go to your Instagram and post your butt up there and say, "Hey, I'm streaming." The wrong way of going about it. You're gonna go to a lot of other streamers' chats. You're gonna go talk to them. You're gonna go ask them for advice. You're gonna get their attention, saying that, "Hey, you know, you have that personality. I want to talk to you more. I want to visit your streams here and there." And I was very lucky to have gotten a lot of people who had a huge community. I have been to a lot of communities that were not partnered, but they had a huge standing in Twitch. And to get Twitch to notice you, Twitch staffs, you see one, interact with them. No joke, they will be interested or they'll be annoyed. Either way, you're gonna get their attention. This one time when I first met the Twitch staff in my chat, I literally said, "You must be joking. You're fake." I could tell from the way he typed ... He must have been really annoyed that I said he's fake. You're gonna do a lot of networking, and that doesn't mean going on social medias here and there. You're gonna be moving from stream to stream to chat, and if you're gonna go to that extra mile and take the extra effort, you're gonna bring out some cash and sub to people and make them happy to get close to them. You may seem like, oh, it's a sellout way, but there's benefits to it. So it's there. Why don't you use it?
Okay.
Definitely. There's
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead, Balkan.
Oh, sure, thanks. Definitely like getting involved in other communities and everything. And on top of that, for your own stream, there's I mean there's a lot of ways to work smarter, not harder in a sense, but there's at the same time, there's no replacement for actually being live, for actually doing your own streams. I know a lot of people starting out everything. I mean, I think Vargas mentioned 12-hour streams every day. I know I've done
Yeah.
eight plus every day. I mean, there are weeks that I've done 60, 70-hour streams, you know, just 8 hours a day, and then a 24-hour on the weekend, things like that. And you can't, I mean, Twitch staff can't come in your channel. You can't get, you know, rated or hosted or any of that if you're not live. Like, bottom line, they can't be in your chat if there's no channel to be in.
Yeah, or else keep on doing what you're good at. Make sure that you keep your passions alive. Don't give up, and make sure you keep an eye or join some bigger communities. You know, for instance, those more popular or liked streamers. Go there and watch them and experience how the community like, and maybe be part of the community, and maybe who knows, one day you will get raided, by them. There are a bunch of people. I see. I just watched a few streamers just now before we start the podcast. Um, the podcast has about roughly about 100 viewers. So before the streamer I mean before he log off or away, he would suggest the people to, okay, now let's see, who do we want to rate, whose stream do we want to rate.
Mm-hmm.
So
Definitely.
this is something that sometimes we neglect or we just ignore it, but it may uh, provide or offer an opportunity for a smaller or medium streamer to get noticed. So who knows? I mean, when you get rated, among them is like one of the Twitch big guys or the mod who happens to be there because you got rated by 100 viewers. So of course they would sure want to come and have a look. Oh, what's happening here? There's a lot of people watching you. So yeah, all I want to say is, guys out there, streamers, don't give up, because this is your passion. Of course, you'll be there'll be down times. There'll be time that you feel like, if you're in the right direction, you will doubt yourself or you'll blame someone else. But all I can say is keep your passions alive. Keep doing what you're good at doing. Don't give up. So yeah, that's good. Moving on. Uh, 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 how do you
There's
plan?
a
How do you plan and reach your streaming goals? For example, like followers goal or sub goals, or you are planning a sponsorship. How do you do that, Falcon?
Ooh. So I think when I was looking at the questionnaire, I think this was probably like the one I had the most trouble with.
Mhm.
I don't plan things out too far in advance. I kind of think of like a follower goal or a sub goal or something, just to sort of see if I'm on track and something to measure my own growth by. I do, if I'm falling short of a goal, or I wanna kind of really, get everybody together and reinvigorate things. I mentioned the 24-hour streams before, just because those just turn into big parties, basically. With people playing and hanging out and shouting and everything. And I'm sure my neighbors in the apartment downstairs really appreciate me yelling at my computer at 4 a.m. And like I said, I don't plan too far in advance, and I really just try to keep doing what I'm doing. If I don't meet a goal, sometimes I'll kind of look at game choice, things like that, see if maybe I played something that wasn't what a lot of people really wanted to watch, but I played it because I wanted to play it, or I wanted to stream it, maybe, and just kind of see how things worked out, and then I can always maybe add little bonus streams, or maybe kind of readdress the content that I am streaming, and go from there.
Okay. What about you, Kazu? How do you plan your your streaming goals? For example, maybe you're going somewhere, this event. Do you plan ahead? How do you go ahead with that?
Okay, first and foremost, right, I just want to be like clear. I actually don't set any goals like Vulcan. Like,
Mhm.
I'll first tackle the part about the sponsorship because I've done sponsored I wanted streams before about sponsored videos on my YouTube channel before, and personally, I know that they came and find me because I have X number of viewers or X number of coverage, or there's a specific region of people that they want to target, and I meet the target that they want to. So I kind of know my strengths and why they look for me first. And so I try to take sponsorships in which they don't actually ask for specific X number of your link, the link that we give you must have at least 100 clicks. If not, you will not get the money, that kind of stuff. I actually avoid that kind of sponsorships. I only take in sponsorships which I know that, number one, I'm able to give the person that's asking me what he wants. If I cannot give him what he wants, I'll tell him very frankly, like, look, I cannot give you the marketing or the advertising that you want. I'm not able to hit it, so find another person. Like, I will not take up sponsorship just because there's an opportunity of money. So you don't want to set yourself up for failure, because it's going to be very awkward where you kind of take up the sponsorship and you actually don't meet the target that is set. So for me, the sponsorships that I get sponsored videos is like X amount of money, X dollars amount of USD for video. And then I have this rate that I set for anyone. So no matter whether you're Blizzard or you're a small company or whatever, if you ask me how much is my rates, this is my rate. So I set myself a rate for my own like sponsored videos in that sense. So I don't set myself up for failure, number one, and also I'll be able to meet. I'll only take in sponsorships that I'm able to help, the person that's asking me to help him for. So regarding like sub goals, follower goals, and all those, right? I cannot actually share how you can actually reach it. I can actually share with you how you should not try to reach it. A lot of streamers, including myself, when I first started, we try to do giveaways. We try to do clickbait titles. Because these are all the things that you see that a lot of big streamers do, but they get away with it because it's funny for them.
Yeah,
it's humorous for them, you see.
Yeah.
But for you, when you're small, right, when you do, right, it looks like you're trying to sell out. You give a very, 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 very negative and wrong feel and message to your audience. And the most important thing
That's a good point.
that will actually kill your stream is that when you do giveaway streams or when you do clickbait title streams or very sensitive or thought-provoking stream titles, is that you will actually attract the wrong audience. You'll get a lot more trolls in your chat. You will have more people that come in because they just want to giveaways. And ultimately, after I've done a lot of giveaways, like I've done for like 3 months in a row, where I give away $5 worth of like Dragoness, cherry credits, which is like 5,000 CC, which is $5 every day, and I did it for like 3 months, which is like a lot of money. And you realize that people are just here for the giveaways, and you realize that when you're not doing an actual giveaway, no one's there. So try not to, if you're gonna do giveaways, if that's how you're gonna achieve your follower goal or your sub goal, right? Make sure you give back to the right people. Like nowadays on Twitch you have your like loyalty points. I think now Streamlabs have a new one where it's on the video overlay and everything, where you can customize. Like on my channel, it's called Liars. It means luck is a skill, and that's my point system that I use. And people can use those points to buy tickets into the giveaways that you do. So the more that they watch, the more tickets that they have, the more chances they have to win, and you give back to the correct people. And I used to give away every month $30 of like Steam or Google Play gift card, or Apple, the credit card thing, $30 worth every month when I have the point system. But Reflow kind of went down, so I didn't do it for the last 2 months. But you want to give back to the right people. So yeah. So I think one last point I want to make is that the thing about setting like a sub goal or a follower goal, the small ones that Vulcan mentioned is very important, so that you achieve those small goals and you feel that you're progressing. And I think streaming is like playing an RPG. A lot of people wants to level up. Like you want to level up your stream with your viewers, and your viewers can actually feel the progress, correct? Like, or you hit your first 50 subscribers, and your chat will be really happy for you. Why? Because you unlock more emotes, and people feel like they're playing an RPG with you as well. So the goals are still important, but you shouldn't tunnel vision on the goals, and you shouldn't be upset when you don't meet those goals. Like I have set the goal of hitting 100 active subscribers for the last 2 years, and I have not hit it yet. I'll be honest with you. I've been averaging about 50 to 60 active subscribers and about 85 sub points for the last 3 or 4 months. And I don't feel very bad, because while I have set that goal, I know very clearly why I have not hit it. And as long as you know why you have not hit the goal, you don't have to feel bad. And like Vulcan said, just keep doing what you're doing, because you know that what you're doing is quote unquote right. and you just haven't have the the luck. Some people put it, you don't have the opportunity, and one day you get a good rate. Make sure you make use of it and make sure to entertain the people. But as always, don't be like fake about it. Just be you. Just be you. You're here.
That's a huge thing.
You have a good stream, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Don't like overreact. Oh my goodness, thank you. People will know that. Right? You'll be appreciative. Of course, you'll be appreciative. But at the same time, you just want to make sure that the people that come to your channel from another stream gets to know you. And a lot of people make the mistake where they try to live up. For example, right now, right? If, for example, I'm sure you guys know who's Lyric, right? One of the biggest Twitch streamers on Twitch.
Yeah.
If he rates a channel, or like if let's say he rates my channel, I don't know how to react. I'll be honest. So make sure that you're always ready to know how to react to rates, because I find that a lot of small streamers, they always talk about opportunities and everything, but they're not mentally prepared to take up such opportunities when they come through. So I would say that have that mentally prepared back in your mind. And yeah, goals are good, but don't be overly obsessive with it. And I think you should be fine in the end. Yeah.
How about Varkas when it comes to goal plannings and achieving your subscribers sub goals on your stream?
Well, for me, when it first started about goals, it was when I went by hundreds and hundreds of followers. But at that point, when it went up higher and higher and higher, I never thought of doing anything at all, because I thought people were just, oh hey, I like your stream, I like your content, I want to follow you and I want to be notified, so I clicked follow. To me, when people click the follow button, they initially not just want to support you or watch you, they want to be notified when you're going to be live. They say, oh, he or she is live now. I'll check them out in like 30 minutes or so. It's like a TV channel, hence twitch.tv. It's supposed to be something that people look forward to going into. So when it came to goals, after a while, I felt, now that it's piled up to a huge amount, I said, you know what, let me start a few goals. And when I did, first goals were like giveaways, which was, in any sense, you think of goals, the first thing that ever comes to your mind was a giveaway. Either be it a game or an item or a cash prize. That was the first thing anyone would ever come up with. But like both what Vulcan and Nathan said, their points are very, very true. How people would react and how people would look at it as to leveling up their own streams and so on. So for me, I looked at it as a point of having more people to come by and play with us. I looked at it as, hey, if we get this so and so goal done, we can have a charity stream. We can have a huge marathon. I try to keep my goals towards just being more playtime, more stream time, more fun. I have done a lot of giveaways, and I know how much money went into all those. I've done a lot of 24-hour goals, 12-hour streams. To a point, 12-hour streams became regular, so they seem like nothing. 24-hour goals were a lot. There was a point where I was warned not to do more than 32 hours. It's under the code of conduct by Twitch because of the recent passing of streamers who did more than 24-hour streams. Some who didn't survive, some who had health issues after a while. And I was warned not to do so much of these, and I said, okay, we'll try different goals. You have to compromise when it comes to being on a platform, and when you're so committed to it, there are terms and conditions you have to follow. If you don't follow, you're gonna get punished, regardless of what you think you have done was good for your community or what you wanted to deliver to your community. So when you say goals or giveaways or such for subs, followers, or viewers or whatsoever, you need to think how it's going to satisfy both them, yourself, and also not break the rules. Pretty much both Nathan and Vulcan did cover most of the points of how you're going to go about it, what you're going to do. But I want to point out that you're not just satisfying them, you're not selling your soul to the website, but you're also trying to have fun at the same time. The main reason a lot of us start is because we had fun doing it. That's
Exactly.
what I want to point out there.
And
Yeah, that's a good point. Vulcan, you wanted to add something?
What Varkas and Kazu said is just if you let it, you can turn it into a numbers game. And at the end of the day, your community and your chat is not the number 40 or the number 39. Everybody is an individual person, and once you realize that and you interact with people that way, it helps a lot. And if you turn it into like you're playing the stock market or something where you're okay, I got 20 followers today and I got this many, and I've got this many viewers, and the chart is going this direction or whatever, then you're going to kind of lose the spirit of the whole thing and why you started. And I've personally, I mean, that, and it's a super easy thing to fall into. I think a lot of people have done that at some point. And for me personally, I hide my viewer numbers and everything else whenever I'm actually live, and I only let myself look at numbers and things for the most part. If I'm offline, I'll look at, maybe since Twitch has updated to have like the metrics and everything, I'll look at things after the stream. But I find it kind of gets to me if I look at things while I'm live, and I don't want to let that mess up my attitude.
Yeah, it's true as well. I find that applies to many streamers. They tend not to, they stop themselves from looking at the numbers too much at times. That will also affect their emotionally. So yeah, in conjunction with the September month, Twitch also has come up offering the September, how do I say, the half price subscribers. So if you are new and you would like to check out the podcast guests like Varkas, Kazu, Aikawa, and also Vulcan 210, just go to the channel and just sub them because it's half price, guys. It's really worth your money because they are awesome people, and every day in the streaming career they are projecting positivity to the world. So I really appreciate, and this is actually a special shout out to you guys as well. So and also a lot of things are happening around the world. For example, there are disasters, there are victims, and there are pets that left behind in the floods. Twitch has also offer a lot of opportunity for us streamers and also the community, the viewers, to lend a hand, like hashtag charity, and some of them even do charity stream for suicide prevention and all sort of things, hurricane victims and all that. I mean, you can set the goals for your own good, and also at the same time you also get to help other people. So but be clear of why you're doing it. Let your viewers or community know why you're doing that, and by achieving that, you have to do what you have promised. So because I find that some of the streamers, they just make empty promises, or halfway through they do not, they don't even complete what it should be, things like that.
Yeah.
So actually I have an add-on question to this question actually. Okay, for Vulcan, what do you at which point of your streaming career, when do you think is the best time to plan for a goal, for a streaming goal, be it a followers goal, or a sub goal, or a TwitchCon goal, or whatever, gears upgrade goal? Where do you think is a good time to start planning a goal, to for your community?
I think that varies from community to community and from goal to goal, because it kind of depends on, if you're trying to buy, a $30 upgrade for your computer versus like funding a, $500 or $600 trip to TwitchCon or something like that. It kind of depends on the size. Once you know you do have a community, you do have people that show up, because you don't want to make a goal for something that you're not going to reach. That's going to be, because I see people sometimes who have a goal, like a bar that's always on their screen and that kind of thing, that maybe don't have the community to reach that, and it's sort of demoralizing to you, and it's sort of awkward for the community sometimes. I would say it's appropriate when you've got enough of a community that it's something you think you can meet, and that on a daily basis you kind of interact with these people. You've grown a little bit as a streamer, and your community has had a chance to kind of see, there is no legal contract out there that says that you're not going to shut off your stream one day and never be heard from again, right? Like there's nothing keeping you there, and so your community needs to feel like this is something I can invest in. This is somebody that I can sub to, or I can cheer for, or donate to, or whatever, and it's going to go to a good cause. I can get invested in this, and I'm going to come back tomorrow or Wednesday, or whatever your schedule is, and they're going to be here, or I'm going to know the reason why. This is something that I'm going to get some reward from in meeting these people and that kind of thing. So you need to, I would say, once you feel you are established enough that people know they can kind of trust you to come back, do what you say you're going to do with that goal, whether that's fund a trip, upgrade the stream, whatever. And you'll kind of get that vibe. You're comfortable with your community, they're comfortable with you. Then that might be the time to start looking at setting that.
For Kazu and Vakas, do you have anything to add on that? Like, you have a base of people that watches your stream. So when did you realize that, okay, this is the time that I wanted to set a goal, because I think these people might be able to help me? So do you have something to add on that?
Yeah, I actually have something to add on that. Just now your question was asking, like, when can you actually, like, when should you actually do it, right?
Yeah.
So personally, I feel that no matter what kind of goals or certain things that you want to set for your community to try and achieve with you, that it must be something that you cannot do alone. Like, you have tried everything you could personally to try and achieve it. For example, previously I actually had a donation goal to get a Nintendo 3DS capture card. One that you actually have to order from Japan. Only they do it. Like, you cannot buy a capture card for 3DS. You have to get.
I heard about it.
Company, and then it takes like 6 months to. When I got it, was too late.
I have one of those. That's a process.
$900.
Wow.
So when do you actually know to have that kind of donation goal, right? Is when you feel that you have enough people in your community or your stream that actually really wants to see this thing. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because if you actually, like, I've seen a lot of streamers, I'm not going to call anybody because it's not very nice, that they are very financially, like, they're okay. But they have like, I'm going to try and set a donation goal for a 1080 Ti or new CPU. But if you look at them, right, they can definitely afford it within their own means. And I feel that sense is very, very wrong. I mean, people can do whatever they want to do, but I personally won't do that, because it's something that I know is within my own control that I can afford. Why are you getting people? I mean, it's nice people can pay for you, obviously. Who don't want a free lunch, right? But personally, I don't believe in that kind of thing. So unless it's something that your community really wants, and you know that you're not able to achieve it alone, then you should actually set that kind of like donation goal or something that your community can achieve. It must be something that you alone cannot achieve. That's when you know that you should try and set that goal. So that's when I know. I think is when you should set such a thing.
That's really a good point, though. For Vakas, you have something. For Vakas, do you have something to add? Like...
I would like to add on. Seeing that the goals from Vulcan in itself, when you're putting up the goal bar up there, and from Kazu's points, when people who are financially quite stable, myself, these kind of things, I once decided to do, one of those drunk streams, and I was not gonna do it in a sense of every follow one shot, because people could just easily make up.
That's ambitious.
No joke. I was at this point to putting to every follower one shot, and I was thinking, I'm at 500. Tonight I could go to 5,000 in any moment. So I changed it, and at that time I was already coming up to partnership. So when that time came and that idea popped up, and I was like, yeah, so there was a high demand. When you have a high demand, people will want to see it. You have a low demand, you can just keep it away in the corner of your room and say, we'll see you in like 2 years from now. So when it happened, it did feel great, receiving donations, receiving funds, receiving huge amounts coming out of your face. And then, the troll messages where people color their text in chat and say, someone has donated so and so saying hi. The feeling is there. And then you know which is legit, which isn't. But if you're going to go to a point to kill your body to receive funds, that's not a goal. That's ending your life faster, but giving your savings to your, who knows, your next in kin or whatever. You're going to plan it properly to a point where wait for the community to grow, like what Vulcan says, or maybe when you are much more financially stable, you want to keep yourself to the point that, hey, I'll be buying this, but we'd love to see the community grow to a number amount of this so and so. You tease them a bit. You don't want to say, oh, this will happen. You want to make them what's the word I'm looking? Make their heart race. You want to make them say, oh crap, let me introduce more friends to this guy. If he reaches his goal, he's gonna get this done. If he reaches his goal, he's gonna get drunk. If she reaches this goal, she's gonna dance for. Oh, okay, let's not go there. But to me, that point is that there are ways of getting the funds, but there are some that are quite dangerous. There are some that just seem unethical. There are some that just no point when you are already financially stable. So that's my point there.
Okay. For me, I think setting a stream goal would be something that is necessary when, for example, your streaming gear has broken down, or for example, you need an upgrade in order to upgrade the viewers how to say it, the enjoyment. They get to enjoy more when you upgrade stuff like that. It's also not for your own good, but also for the benefit of the viewers as well. So I think that this planning the streaming goal, you have to take in account or prioritize that the fan benefits not only to go to your own, but it also creates a purpose for the community that they are helping you to sustain and supporting your channel as well.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, for example, the charity stream, and also what else? Some offer like Twitch is doing the September. It's something to help the streamers as well. I think this is really like helping the streamers with a purpose, a meaningful one. Not like Kazu mentioned, like, oh, you can actually upgrade with your own pocket because you can afford it. You have the money, but you chose not to, but instead you go for a community for help, which in my opinion is not right too. So yeah, I think we have a really good sharing on that as well. Our
Yeah.
viewers might have a better idea why people are cheaters, and why there are some there are cheaters out there, and they are ruining the good name of the good streamers. So yep, let's go to the other question. Oh, this is the one that I handwritten.
Wow.
To the ones that I add. Okay, I'm asking Vulcan first. How do you come up with your stream schedule? Based on your video stats, or your priorities, or your family commitments? I mean, give us an example. How do you set up your stream schedule?
Sure. I base mine first and foremost just around life commitments. I am married. I spend time with my wife and my cat. That's my family. Can't neglect the cat. He gets angsty. But anyway, so I try to plan around spending time there, my own recovery, that kind of thing. Because if you're not able to get enough rest, that kind of thing, eventually you're gonna get run down, and that comes across to your community. You just don't have that energy. So I try to plan around that, and then I try to So, I mean, if all else, if I have to kind of pick a day to give up here or something's going to happen, I'll just ask my community. I'll post in the Discord or I'll ask on Twitter or whatever, and just say, hey, I've got this option or this option. What works for you guys? And I'll just kind of see what the feedback is. I know a lot of times people try to schedule around bigger streamers and that kind of thing, and I don't pay attention to that quite as much. It's mainly just what works for me and gives me the most ability to be here and not be. I don't stream or game really well if I feel really stressed because I've got to be somewhere in 5 minutes. I've got to run across somewhere to do something. Run across campus, run wherever. So I try to stay away from that and make sure that I have just an open schedule there to actually commit and invest to the stream. I don't like streaming on the go per se. I haven't. I do some IRL stuff, but I haven't ventured outside the apartment yet. But anyway, that's what I try to do.
Okay. So for Kazu, because you are a CS constant CS:GO streamer, so how do you set your stream time for your viewers or your community?
So the way I schedule my stream is actually based on the communities that I want to get in touch with. Like, for example, in NA and EU, I would say that Twitch is more known in North America and European regions compared to in Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia Twitch community is very, very, how do I put it, separated into its own, cliques. Like, you have your Taiwan, Chinese community, and then you have your Southeast Asian community, which is really, really small, and then you have your Thailand, Filipino, and maybe Indonesia, like very, very varying languages. So because I know what I want my stream to be, even though I know that if I try to stream during the American or the European timings, it'll be better for me in terms of having a higher chance of being successful, I don't actually try to aim for that. So for me personally, Asian culture or Southeast Asian culture, most people who work in Singapore, for example, we don't actually watch Twitch streams and work. Like, this is something very common that you see on many popular American and European streamers, that you'll see people donating, right? And they'll say, hey, I'm actually working now, what's up? I'm watching a stream and I'm working. But in Asia or in Singapore, if you actually get caught playing or watching a stream, basically not doing your job, you can get fired. So culturally, you don't actually want to stream during working hours. Like, for a lot of NA and EU streamers, they actually stream in the afternoon to evening, and then evening, they have their own evening office. For them, it's like working hours, even for a streamer. But for me, I stream off the normal working hours in Asia. Like, I start streaming at 7 o'clock until about 2 or 3 a.m., which also hits a little bit into the EU timing as well. So that's kind of good for me. So I'm actually targeting like 2 groups, but I'm targeting primarily the Southeast Asian region. Because if I try to force myself to stream at 2 p.m., yeah, sure, I can get to know American and European viewers and stuff, and that will give me the best chance of success, but that will not help in building the Southeast Asian Twitch or live streaming community. So I feel that that's very lacking right now on Twitch in Southeast Asia, and I want to contribute to that. So that's why I choose to stream my stream at 7 o'clock to around 2 or 3 a.m. So it's nothing to do with the game that I actually play, but more like I want to help build the Twitch Southeast Asian community. Because I know personally that if I truly want to be successful on Twitch, I have to build it up. I cannot depend on the NAU. I have to make sure that my own region gets built out at the same time, and that actually, to me personally, in the long run, has the best chance of success. Instead of trying to, target mainly NA and EU streams. I've seen a lot of small Singaporean streamers that will, I would say, honestly speaking, it's a bit torturing themselves. They will stream at 2 a.m. and they will stream 8 hours or 12 hours and 10 a.m. And even though now my sleeping schedule is like sleep at around 6 a.m. or 8 a.m. because of how I'm streaming right now, like I'm used to it already, so it's not that bad. But you realize that your channel don't grow. Yeah, you'll always be stuck at like a couple of viewers, because at the end of the day, right, you are not able to connect with the NE and EU viewers because you're not from NE and EU. You do not know the trouble, the floods, the sufferings that they have. But if you are connecting to the Southeast Asian region, which is my region, right, your own region, your own local region. For example, in Singapore now, we have a no contest election and that kind of stuff, where our president, first female president and first Malay president, and you'll be able to connect with more of your local viewers because of all the local things that's happening, or the regional happenings that's going on. So that's why I schedule my stream around targeting my own local region instead of trying to force myself into the more successful NA and EU stream timing. Yeah.
Marcus, you used to stream odd hours like after midnight, right?
Oh
So,
yes.
so how do you determine your streaming schedule that time?
When I first started off, I like Kazu. I did my streaming hours after the working hours of Southeast Asia, which was always 6 p.m. and I kept it that way, 6 p.m. and it goes on until the minimum of 2 a.m. to the maximum of 4 to 5, and that's like it's like a 8 hour kind of 9 to 5 job, but at that point, I usually have a lot of my Southeast Asian friends and people who would play with me here locally in Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, a lot of places. A lot of the Southeast Asian people love to play at that time, and they're usually back home free. And from what I've learned in past experience and jobs, the prime time of Southeast Asia when they're on social media, Facebook, Instagram, it's usually night, 7 till 8 to 9. That's when they're down at home, sitting down, eating something, and looking at their phones or the laptops or the TV, smart TV per se. That's their timings.
Hmm.
I did experiment with different timings. I did do a bit earlier. I did mornings. I did afternoons. I did have more success in the morning and afternoon because more of my audience came from the UK, came from the US, came from Europe, and I liked it for a while. It was great. It did expose me to new audience, to people who would come by from different places. But then I told myself, is this gonna work out for me? Will I be able to keep this schedule? Will I be able to wake up at these hours? Will I be able to sleep at these hours? So when I made a fixed schedule, I told myself, I'm gonna be sacrificing one thing and one thing only: sleep. Straight up to my face, I tell myself, you, sir, are douche, you're going to sacrifice sleep. It just went out the window and said, bye. I've seen you for a while for now. There are days that I slept for 5 hours because I did more than 9 hours of streaming. Usually ends up 10 hours, and I would usually have 5 hours of sleep, wake up, do the normal thing, shower, and then go back to streaming. But now with changing, and you are having to balance your life of what you would do as a person behind the camera and then a person when the camera is off. So it's very different. You're gonna be scheduling when you're gonna get up, what are you gonna do, how are you gonna get it done, and what is the schedule gonna be like. You're not gonna just satisfy your prime time to the peak hour to the audience. You gotta satisfy yourself. You are human as well. So finding that time takes a while. For me, it was usually the evenings. Mornings, my brain's dead. It's dead.
Yeah, I think
Coffee,
we all
it's wonderful.
we I think we all agree that the streaming schedule has to be somewhat related to your life priorities as well, and also your personal health. You gotta have enough sleep. You gotta do what you gotta do, and make sure you also hit the gym or go exercise. And apart from that, of course, you get a fixed time. But before fixing the time, you might want to test the water first, like certain time zone, and look at the statistics of your videos of your past broadcasts or your past streams. Who came in, the where do all the viewers coming from, and all that. You would want to do the math, and also engage your own community at a different time zone. So yeah, we go to the next one. Oh, that's like a lot more. We might not able to do all. Okay. In what way your loved ones or your family or your friends support you in your stream? For Vulcan.
Wow, okay, that's a big one.
Yeah.
From like I said, I'm married. My wife has her own job, so when full-time streaming doesn't quite pay the bills and everything, there's like the most obvious one. But also just whether it's helping me When I first started, she was the one who would sit over there on her laptop, and I'd be like, okay, I'm going to do a test stream, and you're going to sit here and tell me if you can hear me and what it sounds like. And, you know, just trying to troubleshoot everything and do tech support to, you know, my friends, the people that I texted and guilt tripped into sitting in my stream and pulling up a tab when I first started streaming and being like, you know, if you guys love me, you're going to watch this. I don't care if you like this game. You're going to watch this.
You're guilt tripping them already.
I'll buy you tacos or I'll get you burgers.
Exactly. I was like, all right, pizza and beer later. You guys are going to watch this stream. I know you don't like Barbie Animal Pet Rescue, but you're going to watch this. And just having people to support you, to talk to outside the stream, to give you feedback, and to, you know, even just if it's, hey, this is a really cool thing that you're trying to do, is just incredibly important. Whether your things are going great, if they're going bad, just the morale and the emotional support is huge. And then, like I said, sometimes it's a direct stream thing, whether it's sometimes my friends and I get together and I'll test out a game if it's something I never played before. I'm like, okay, I need to see how this works with 4 people. Is this gonna be fun to watch, or is this not gonna work? Things like that. But I would definitely say emotional support is there. You've got to have, I mean, your community, your viewers. I mean, you get to be really good friends with people. It's great, but you need some people there during your off stream time to add some balance, give you some perspective. Get you out of your own head when you've maybe not had a great day, maybe something didn't go as well, that kind of thing, and to give you some criticism, give you some. So I mean, obviously there's the conventional get good, but as you're working towards that you know, unreachable goal, you kind of need some other feedback as well.
How about you, Kazu? Do you have like support from your family or your friends?
Okay, when I saw this question, right, this is actually a very sensitive question when you ask an Asian gamer,
especially
or
Asian,
a person that is trying to go professional gaming or become a professional gamer or trying to do streaming as a full-time job. The first thing I feel that is very lacking here is communication. Also, that most family and friends do not have any idea. You'd be surprised what live streaming or becoming a YouTuber or trying to be a professional gamer actually is. And I think what is I think it's both ends, is both parties at fault. A lot of gamers, a lot of pro gamers, wannabes, or a lot of streamers, they don't actually know how to communicate what they are trying to do with their family members. So for us, right, when I saw this question, right, that's like the first step. Have you actually communicated and helped your family and friends understand what you're trying, and your loved ones what they are trying to do? For example, my family is a very typical Chinese, conventional, traditional Asian family. If I would say 5 years ago, if my mom knew I was doing this, she would disown me, like straight away. Like, I don't know who you are, right? But the thing for me is, I was very lucky in the sense that I did try the real, like the Asian, the real, you know, go get a. I was a university dropout. My parents almost disowned me. I'm kidding, but I did the study thing didn't go well for me, and I don't want to study again anymore. But my parents and my dad and my mom especially, hey, you want to go study overseas? We can give you the money. I'm like, no, I want to do this, and I showed them that when I want to do my full-time jobs, that yeah, I don't think I don't have a degree because I'm stupid or anything. I kind of know how the real world works, and I can be independent out there. All right. So when I actually told my mom that I'm actually doing this full-time streaming, I can tell you today, right, unfortunately, right, they still don't know, they don't really know what I'm trying to do, because my parents are Chinese. In Mandarin, it's called 直播, which is live stream. Okay, so if you actually notice, there's I don't think you can see on screen, but there's actually another huge like armchair behind me. That's my dad's computer, and my dad will actually come into the room and he'll do his own work, and then he'll ask me if I'm recording, and I'll just be like, yeah, I'm recording. And sometimes he'll sneeze very loudly. Like my younger sister, when she didn't understand what I was trying to do, right, they'll be screaming, they'll be doing a lot of things that will affect your stream. And the thing is, you actually tell them that, look, 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. I'm doing this thing. Please try not to disturb me. I'm trying to do a live stream. I'm trying to do it. Like, I tried my best to communicate to my family members what I'm trying to do, but they don't understand. So they'll be screaming downstairs, they'll be doing their own thing. They will come in, and then, so what I did was, for example, for me personally, I pay for my own internet line. you know how in Asian families you will try to share one fiber internet, right? I pay for my own fiber. So that, because that's the most important thing to a streamer, right? You want to make sure that no one else is torrenting, no one else is streaming, no one else is using a bandwidth. You don't want your stream to drop frames, because a stream that has dropped frames will be so choppy. It's a very, very negative viewing experience. So the internet is the first thing that you don't want to mess up. So I paid for my own internet. I made sure that none of my family members can quote unquote screw me up in that aspect. But in any case, right now, my mom and dad are actually more. I think the fact that they are doing nothing to stop me from doing what I'm trying to do is actually a good thing in the Asian family. But yeah, my younger sister, for example, my elder sister, sorry, she's married. Like she's married. She don't live in this house anymore. Monetarily, like during my birthday, she'll just give me money because she knows that, monetary wise, like, you know, I'm a small channel. Obviously, the amount that I'm earning right now is just able for me to like survive. You know, enough food, can pay my internet bills, can pay my phone bills. I'm just surviving, and she knows that maybe you need to get a new mouse, a new keyboard, or you want to get a 144 hertz monitor because it's good for your, you know, Counter-Strike. So my elder sister, she knows. She actually go read up on gaming articles and stuff because I actually sat down and I talked to her. This is what I'm trying to do, and she understands. So she tried to help me in that way. And the most important thing, the best way to help a streamer, honestly speaking, in a very realistic sense, in Asia is like in Singapore, cost of living is really high. So she'll just give me like an ang pao, which is a red packet that has money inside for my birthday. And I usually use those to buy like gear for my stream, like a new webcam. Last year she actually gave me half of the money that I need to actually get the Nintendo Switch capture card. Not Nintendo Switch capture card, the Nintendo 3DS capture card. So yeah, so it was a journey for Asian family. But I think the most important thing that you need to do, which is why I feel this question is being asked in my context, is that ultimately you need to communicate with your family and friends and your loved ones, and through that communication you have to try and reach an understanding. So, you know, in Singapore we have national service, right? So we have reservists. We have to go back to the army every year for 10 years. Okay, so I actually have one of my like senior officers. She actually had a son, and she knew I was a YouTuber. She knew I was a streamer and YouTuber. She can ask me, hey, my son wants to do YouTube. He's watching PewDiePie. He's trying to do this thing. Like, can you try and help me talk him out of it? I'm like, huh? So I told her that maybe you should try and understand what he's trying to do. That kind of stuff. It's just like how a lot of parents say you can only play 2 hours of Dota. You can only play 2 hours of CSGO. You can only play 1 hour of, you know, games every day. But they don't understand that, let's say if you play Dota, right? A game can be 30 minutes, it can be 15 minutes, it can be an hour. And they always threaten to, like, I'm going to pull plug on you, which is I'm going to disconnect internet once we hit that 2 hours. So if the parents understand that Dota 2 is like game based, and, you know, 30 minutes to an average game is 30 to 45 minutes, they'll be like, okay, play 3 games instead of you can only play 2 hours. You know what I mean? So once the family, friends reach that understanding of what you're trying to do or the game that you're trying to play, then there will not be angry people. People won't feel very frustrated, and you also won't feel that people don't understand you. So ultimately, communication and understanding. That's my advice. Go out there, you know, have difficulty trying to get our family and friends to understand what you're trying to do. Yeah.
So I take it that Varkas also have the similar scenario at home.
Well, I mean, coming from Kase, you're already at that point where you have someone in your family already supporting you. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
And you went through that point of you telling your parents, and so I'm like before that point. I'm at that point of still trying to convince them that I am doing this full time. I have the partnership contract. I've actually shown it to my dad. When I showed it to my dad, he had a sense of pride, you know, that my son is doing something finally. And then when I tell him that, Dad, it's a work from home basis kind of a thing, and he's like, you better not tell your mom. Straight up to my face. I never get that. Like he would say, don't tell your mom. Don't tell your mom. It's like a very basic kind of movie. Don't tell your mom. It's like that kind of a thing. And like what Kaze says, Asian parents, you know, 2 hours, that's it, you're done. But when I was living with my dad, I had a lot of freedom. And I was streaming from that house for God knows how long. After a while, my dad started. He quit his old job. He used to work as a teacher full time. Then after the passing of his mom, he kind of went out because I don't know, he didn't feel like the sorts, and so he became jobless for a while. And I was kind of the source of income, sort of thing, because I did freelance artworks. I did a lot of side jobs. Streaming wasn't just a source of income; it was something I loved to do.
Mhm.
And after a while, he's like, "Okay, you're staying here, you're streaming, and just like what Vulcan said, you pay the bills.
Mhm.
They ain't paying itself now. You gotta pay." And I was like, "Okay, I'll try." And in a month, I went broke, and I was like, "Oh dear Lord, what happened?" And it just went downhill. And I'm at that point that now, to prove them wrong, I gotta get back up and get like a certification and move on to like getting a proper foundation. And without that, they would say, "Nope, you're not doing anything. You're just sitting down on your butt and looking at the screen and talking to figurative people." They're gonna say like,
Mhm.
bet all the money, everything in life. If my mom walks in here and she looks at me and she'll be like, "Who are you? Who are these people? Just don't do drugs." That's it. Every conversation ends with, "You don't do drugs." It's a typical Asian kind of family that says, "Don't do drugs. You don't smoke. You don't drink." Sadly, I kind of do drink. Uh, it's that typical situation. I'm actually very jealous of how Kaze's situation is right now. You actually get one sibling supporting you, and that's super. My brother is like, "Yeah, you do you." And my sister's like, "I have a degree. What do you got?" It's very competitive when having siblings who do different things. My sister is the most accomplished. My brother is the most cutest and the most loved. There's me, the unknown mystic, the missing link out of nowhere, and it is just at that point now I have to what was I looking for? I have to fit to their no dance to their tune if I'm to get something for myself. For like what Kaze said, that you pay for your own fiber.
Mm.
Right here, I don't have fiber at the moment. I'm using what we call Streamex, and the speed here is not even an MB fast, not even
I know,
one.
I know. I have a lot of Malaysian
And-
friends.
Oh God, it's terrible. So
Very bad.
The
To
For
horror.
earn-
5 years, non-stop complaints.
oh wow. So to earn the fiber, I have to work my way up. I have to earn that money. I have to keep up to that budget. But then there's a point that I have to pay for their own studies. If I'm to pay extra tuitions, driving license, so and so, those all come down to me. My parents won't do it because they will be like, "What if you fall back to streaming and make that your full thing?" They don't disown it completely. They like it. They're okay. The fact that, hey, you're doing something you like. You're happy. We never see you smile all the time. We don't see you laughing all the time. This is okay. But their mindset is put to a point that you do get a job. You get it. You do it 9 to 5, and you're out of the house. You're earning the money. You're doing hard work. You come home. You feel accomplished. To me, if I make one person on the other side of the screen laugh, entertain, or have an enjoyable game, I feel accomplished. That's me. It takes a while to convince what I want to say is the old style parents. And then to the modern parents now, they would really understand really fast, but they would know how to go about it. They would have a more structured pathway.
Mhm.
So to summarize, what I'm going through right now is pretty much the stage before where Kaze is at right now.
Okay, we can now experience that, through you guys sharing to understand that the struggles are really real. Whether you are having a low speed internet connection, or you're trying to convince your family about what you're trying to do, using all the words and all the gestures, or whatever visual aids that you have. Even for me sometimes, I mean, currently I'm also trying to explain it to my significant other, and not to say that he's having tough time understanding, but he just don't, maybe he's just being ignorant. He's like, oh, okay, you're doing something you like during your free time. It might be some hobby that you're keeping. So until now we are keeping it that way, but uh, every time when I get a chance to talk to him, I'll try to insert this kind of ideas and concept. What I'm doing is actually not only for my own good, but it's actually doing something for the community. So yeah, I believe that you have heard all the successful people in the world. When they started something, or when they're trying to do something, no, everybody in the world went against them, doesn't believe them. But in the end, if you don't give up, if you keep trying, there will be a day that you really break down the barriers and also achieve what you want. And at that time, I can assure you that everyone was like, oh, this is something that you were trying to tell me years ago. Yeah, so that is why a lot of streamers inspired me, and also motivates me, like you guys as well. That's why I invited you guys on board on the podcast to share with our viewers. So yeah, going forward, we need to do this faster, I think. Hopefully we can cover all the questions, but yeah, let's see how it goes. Oh, okay, this is the blank one, sorry.
I'll take that one.
We all make mistakes.
Oh, okay. Okay. Share with us your experiences when you receive your first donation, your subscription or other achievement. How did you react and feel, Vulcan?
I think my first donation was probably from one of my real life friends who was just kind of messing around and like donated $1 to see if it worked or something like that. So it was cool that it went through. I was like, oh, cool, this is a thing. This actually does work. All right. A little bit the same when I got my first actual donation that was a viewer, which I was super appreciative of. It was really cool to see that actually happens. My first sub, so I'm sort of the odd one out here. I'm an affiliate. I'm not partnered. And going into streaming and up until back when I started watching Twitch, the whole affiliate program, as I think with a lot of us, it didn't exist. It wasn't there. That wasn't even a thing. So it was never something I counted on or anticipated or whatever. Even after it was announced, I was like, okay, this will be a thing, because they announced it and it was always coming soon, for several months and whatever. So I just kind of put that on the back burner. And they finally announced, sub button should be here this week or next week or whatever. And I was like, okay, that's neat. So I kind of set up my sub alert just as an afterthought, and then I just sort of forgot about it. And so I'm streaming one day, and I guess the sub button went live while I was live, so I didn't see anything about it. And suddenly somebody subs, and it scared the crap out of me because I had forgotten about my sub alert, and I was like, "What's this noise? What is this?" I'm like going through my tabs and everything, and so that was really cool. And then I'm thinking, oh, what do people say when somebody subs? I've watched these partnered streamers. I have to thank these people. I'm supposed to welcome them to my community. Crap, what's my community called? So it was really kind of surreal, and just trying to figure out what to say. And just there was a little bit of a transition there, and it was a little bit of it was really kind of an identity moment for the stream. Just kind of bring the community closer and where we're going to go from here and how that's going to work. And it was really it was one of those, I never really thought ahead to getting to that point, and it was sort of just a surreal feeling, even just as an affiliate, to sit there and go, wow, I can look at chat and people have these little it was originally like a little black star, and now it's a purple badge with a white star.
Yeah.
Just look at that and go, man, I have somebody sub to me. That's crazy. And then you look at your dashboard, and now under like viewers, it's got like a little thing that says how many subs you have and stuff. Was just nuts. And I would just kind of look over at that for a minute and just, wow, that happened. This is a thing. That's really cool. And then of course also at the same time, like going into it, I tried to keep in mind that this is an affiliate and everything. That's not going to suddenly change your stream in some drastic way. It's not, I've made it, it's not whatever. It's same stream, same Vulcan, same community, just now there's subs. But it was a really cool thing, and it was a really cool way to support the stream. And I know people have had a lot of fun with emotes and stuff. I think sometimes that's a little underestimated, I think, just kind of because a lot of emotes are based off of inside jokes for the stream, or maybe funny expressions you've made, things like that. And I feel like it really adds to the overall character of the community and everything, because it's that much more that people can participate and get drawn into. Oh, go ahead.
Anything else that you want to add on?
I think that's really it. That was my first sub, my first donation. Like I said, it was a couple of friends, and then I had a viewer do a donation, and that was still just really cool, because it was up until that moment that you turn into a big streamer, and it's donation alerts or sub alerts or whatever going off just all the time, and it didn't really click that this is something that can happen. This is real until that moment. That was, and then it's like, well, a lot of people, there are people who qualify being a pro, whether it's a pro streamer or a pro gamer, as, oh, I've earned money doing this. And so then there's just kind of the joke floating around. Am I a pro now? Am I a pro streamer? I got a donation. This is it, right?
Okay. How about Kazu? Did you remember your first sub, or people first supported you? How did you feel at that time?
Okay, so for me, right, previously I was actually on another Twitch channel when I was doing Dragon Age. It was twitch.tv/tgaming, because I was trying to do something with my girlfriend, so I was trying to establish something for both of us instead of just me. So actually streaming that wasn't full time, that was half a year. And I was trying to get partnership back then. Actually, back then I was averaging about 300 to 400 viewers, 5 times more than actually average right now, because of how popular Dragoness was that time. But I just couldn't get the sub button. I tried to apply, I was rejected. They say you should continue to stream regularly. We'll monitor you for another 1 or 2 weeks. We'll see how it goes. They were like, hey, your chat is very active, but we're not going to give it to you yet. So it was actually a very, very frustrating for me, and very frustrating for my viewers as well, because that many of them wanted to support you. That many of them wanted to subscribe to your channel, and many of them were there because how Twitch was booming at the time. People know how emote spamming, or it's very fun when you go to popular streams and have the entire chat react to something funny, and then you see all the funny emotes, the funny emote that they have in their channel for their channel, flooding the chat and everything. So a lot of my viewers wanted to have that kind of experience as well, but we couldn't have it. So anyway, to now, when I actually got my back on Hitbox or back on Twitch, right, most of the people that actually subscribed, I already kind of knew that they would, and they already told me that they would. So to be honest with you, I actually didn't feel much, contrary to what Vulcan was feeling like, because I wasn't looking for the constant Twitch alert or sub alert notifications on my channel, even though I know that having that constantly popping up is actually very good for a stream. For the most part, because it makes your stream feel alive when you have a lot of notifications coming all the time.
It does.
But in any case, when you talk about donations, right, if you actually go to my page right now, I have one crazy guy that actually donated about close to $4,000. Yeah, and then after 4,000, then it's the rest is not as much. So that person is someone that is not from Singapore, someone that I have not personally met. It's actually someone that I would say, quote unquote, didn't like me back in the Dragon Age days, but somehow came to my channel, and we actually become really, really good friends. So many of my regular donors, I have someone who is in national service right now. Every month, whenever he gets payday, he'll donate $10 to my channel. I have one guy, every month he'll donate $25 to me. So most of my regular donors, I actually know them personally, and I have a personal touch with them. I actually speak to them on Facebook or on Steam, and some of them I've met up in real life as well. And basically, they're just like-minded gamers who simply want to have a good time, and we play the same games, and we enjoy having the same games, playing the same games together. So I don't really I don't know how to like answer this question about reaction or how I feel. I'm actually very, very like super grateful because most of these people that donate to me regularly, right? They are not rich people. It's actually very funny. You will meet like because I play free-to-play MMOs, right? Korean MMOs, and you know what they call like mobile games. They have whales. They have people that spend tens of thousands of dollars in their own characters or trying to get packs and everything, but they will not even sub to you. They will come to your channel, they ask you a question, it's like a transaction. They get that question answered, they leave, done. When they're actually the most comfortable, like this person can throw you $2.50 or $5 anytime. It's nothing, it's peanuts to them. But these people will never actually donate or subscribe to you. But the people that actually do are the people that actually only have $5 and they give that $5 to you. So a lot of my donators or donors, they're actually people like that. Like, hey, Kazu, like they'll tell me, hey, I'm actually broke now, after I donated to you. I actually feel really, really bad. So if you actually ask me how I feel and how I react, right? I'm like super appreciative, I'm super grateful, but at the same time I feel really, really bad when that's the case. You know what I mean? Like they actually gave anything that they had, whatever that's left to me for the rest of the month. So I mean, yeah, I'm definitely very happy. It's very, very surreal. Like I got $1,000 donation last month from that person that I told you. It's crazy, but I honestly do not know how to react because anything that goes like overreacting, he knows it's fake. So it's like I cannot say anything. I want to tell him if I mean personally. I told him if I ever become successful, I would fly down to where he lives right now and I'll personally thank him. And I'm waiting for that day to happen. I'll work towards that day. But until that day comes, right, I cannot do that for him. So I'm just super appreciative of people that really understand the struggles of a new streamer, someone who's trying to work towards that dream, and know that they're really working very hard. And yeah, really, very, very appreciative of such people. Just can't say enough thanks. That's how I feel actually.
Varkas, do you remember receiving like the biggest donation and how did you react? How did you react? And
I'll give you a bonus because the first donation was my biggest donation ever, and it's a long story, but I'm gonna cut it a bit short to how this all happened. I met a viewer on a different channel because already the chat's telling who it is, and the guy, he and I, we communicated, we talked about this streamer, and we were both mods for this one streamer, and we would always come by, we would monitor the person's chat, and we would just hang out there and just control chat, because it was a big streamer, and the person grew so big, and until at one point, the streamer disappeared, and a month later, that channel disappeared. We didn't know what happened. It didn't get banned. It probably got deleted. I'm not sure. So we shared that bond of hanging out in that streamer's place, and then that person Jorgo there in the chat, and he came by to my streams, wanted to support me, and at one point he just dropped the bomb like a few $100s. The point where you come and tell yourself that this person had the time to enter in his credit card number or debit card number or go through PayPal and go through, I tell you, going through that nonsense of trying to verify yourself as a PayPal person, I don't know how you do it every time. And he just gave it straight, and I was like, it's a lot of money. I hope you have enough. I hope I didn't put you in poverty. Like, seriously. And you have that feeling, like what Kaze says, I don't want to be like having that guilt feeling that, here's the rest of my money for the whole rest of the month. Sometimes we take it as a point like, did they mean it, or was that a joke? And we don't want to have that feeling inside of us. Some people actually want us to have that reaction. Oh crap! You want me to refund that? Or you're like, oh shit, that's a lot of money. Thank you. Some people have different ways of reacting. For me, it was, I had no words. All I wanted to do was play games with friends, and it was the best feeling. And when a donation came in, that would help so many other ways. It just, at one point, what Vulcan says, am I a big time streamer now? Am I famous? Mom, get the camera. It's at that point you tell yourself, did I do it? Has it happened? Is this the beginning? I tell myself, this thing happened because this person loved my content. They're not doing it because they want to give all their money away. They're not doing it because they don't know what to do with the money. Everyone knows what to do with money, unless you're too filthy rich. I don't know, you're bored or whatever. And when they make that decision, they're telling themselves, I like this person, I like what they're doing, I love their content, I want to support them much more further on. It felt just amazing how it would go through.
I think it's being who you are and being real in front of the camera, and also you are doing what you love doing, and you are projecting positivity to your community. Everyone feels good when they come to your stream. Everyone feels welcome, and every day you are making the day. You make someone happy, and yeah, naturally the donations, the money will automatically flow in.
I think that's part of the real thing too, with the
Yeah.
emotion behind it is just
Yeah, it is.
somehow what you did had what you were doing, sharing your passion with gaming or competitiveness and everything, has made this person's life a little bit better. Something that spurred them to do that. So you've helped them through a tough time, or maybe they're having a bad day and you made them laugh, or something like that, and that's just a good feeling.
Yeah.
I
That's
just
true.
want to add on that one way you can help to deal with the reaction or how you feel is that you can actually pass it on. Like on days where I get a huge donation, and if there's some streamer or someone that don't even have a sub button, but it's like that and you know that he's doing great content, I'll go to his channel and I'll share the love with him. Yeah, that's what I did when I received huge
good.
donations, and you just want to pass the love on because you know that the person made you feel good, and you want to help other people who are trying very, very hard, who are in your shoes as well, to feel that same love as well. So that's something you can do, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. So moving on to the next question. We
Give me 1
started
minute. I'm gonna
late.
go to the washroom. Alright, be right back.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Okay. I think we answered this question already earlier on. What do you do when the stream goals are not met? So if you already plan something on your stream, let's say a gear upgrade goal. For example, you need a graphic cards, and then if by end of that by end of that month or the date, your goal isn't even halfway there. What do you do usually? Vulcan, what do you have to say?
I don't set a lot of like financial goal stuff. I don't do a lot of goals in general, but I kind of try to reevaluate. Maybe the goal was unrealistic. Maybe it's for something that I think Kazu mentioned earlier about like maybe your community, if they really want to see this content, maybe you were trying to bring up something that there just wasn't enough interest in, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And then just kind of maybe reevaluate. Maybe your game choice, maybe it's the way you were acting or whatever, and then ultimately for me, my source has always been to go talk to my wife or talk to somebody, just kind of get out of my own head a little bit, because it's easy to let that kind of weigh you down, and to kind of just reflect on why it wasn't met, and then you just kind of adapt that going forward. You can't let not meeting a goal detract from continuing on, because if you focus so much on that, then it's going to affect the stream moving forward. And I think in terms of keeping other parts of your life going, you shouldn't make things a goal that like computer upgrades and stuff are fine. As far as you need to be, I feel like you can hopefully like meet your bill payments and then that kind of thing. But usually I think it's just because I usually think maybe that you should look at the community's interest in what you were trying to do. Maybe you were trying to bring a game or an upgrade that just people enjoy what you've got now.
Yeah, very true there.
Okay. So Kazu, what do you do if like your sub goals doesn't met when it comes to the deadline and whatnot, do you like tend to extend it, or you do some other stuff to attract more people to in order to achieve that goal? What do you do if the goals are not met?
I think what I usually do, is very logical, I guess. You just need to sit down and reflect and review the reasons why. And I would say more often than not, the reasons as to why it didn't happen are usually not within your control. And one thing that I find in life that's very important not to get trapped into is to be frustrated and annoyed about things that are not within your control. I think a lot of people in life are actually very angry and frustrated about a lot of things that are happening around them, but they don't realize that they have no control of it, and they're letting those things control them. So I'll just reflect, I'll just review, and if I know that it's not something I can do something about, then I'm just going to continue to persevere and believe that you will eventually go through. I think that's how I actually look towards that.
Okay. So, Marcus, have you experienced like your goals have not met and then it ruined your day, or how do you deal with it?
I mean, well, for me, most of my goals were a lot of it was follower goals. I never had sub goals. I never had donation goals. I never had the bar goals, what you have there, or stream goal. When I first started one, I wanted to have like an upgrade here and there, but I tell myself that. Hold on one second. I keep telling myself that, do you want to get this? Do you need this now? And I just look and evaluate properly that it's to a point that if you want to have that upgrade, you want to have this certain gear, you're going to tell yourself, how are you going to achieve this? Are you going to loosen out your whole life saving and get this, or are you going to work towards it? Are you going to have a goal towards it? Most of my goals will be just something simple, reach a certain amount of viewers at this hour, or reach a certain amount of followers. That's my goals usually. When I have a gear or something to upgrade for the stream, I would tell myself that you want this, you need this for your own benefit first, and it would benefit the stream later on. People would see, yeah, hey, better gear makes better stream. But if you're gonna work towards that goal, you're gonna tell yourself, are you gonna earn that money first, or are you gonna fork it out from the stream? To me, when I see someone putting up, oh, I need this for a better stream, better FPS. First, people want to see, do they like you? Do they like the content you create? Do they want to support you that much to the point that they will fund you? It's to a point that 30 to 40% of your viewership will be your sponsors. Donations will count to a point like, oh, there's a constant donator, that person's supporting you for so long, and so and so. And then you have those bigger ones who would be known to be sponsors because they got you to that goal. I tell myself, you want this, you gotta earn it first. You're not gonna go shouting to your community saying that, hey, I would love to stream this, but I lack so-and-so gear or so-and-so items. Would you guys help me out? If your community is big enough, like Kaze or even Vulcan, if they're big and they were willing to help you out, the goal could be met. Chances are the goal can be met. But if you're running with time, if you're racing against time, it's a whole different thing. You can't just depend on one source. I tell myself, if I'm gonna do a giveaway, I can't rely on donations, on subs, on bits, on anything that comes straight from Twitch or people who I've never seen but have talked or seen in chat. You can't rely on them. You have to work your way of earning those things first, then giving it out, then showing them what you have achieved. That's how I see it.
Okay. So yeah, I agree with that as well. So you have so you guys will have roughly what kind of ideas if your goals not met, you should like take a step back and then reevaluate and look at it. Is it achievable? Is it within the range? Or even simple question like, do you need it or not? So yeah. think about what kind of goals, realistic goals, that you plan. So the next question would be, oh, okay. This is kind of essential as well and important. How do you promote your stream or your brand to gain viewerships and to sustain the stream? Vulcan, what do you think?
I don't do a ton of self promotion on external sites. I have my Twitter, I have Discord. Other than that, a big part is just being there. I try to stream a lot. I try to have the channel active as much as I can, and I tend to I try to promote myself, I guess, with a little bit more of a professional image, if those are the words I'm looking for, just towards like daytime TV appropriate with language and that kind of thing. And I try to treat it. I hesitate to say like a job, because you want it to be a passion first and foremost, but I do treat it like a serious endeavor that I'm trying to do, and I try to extend that to the content that I create. Other than that, people kind of find my stream, I guess, organically, because I don't do a lot of, I don't put these big Reddit posts up or on forums or that kind of thing. I do just have my Twitter, my Discord. Sometimes people will find me through there. And I'm on various other Discords and getting involved in other communities, even just saying hi and having conversations on the Discords of other streamers. Sometimes people will trickle over and check you out when you're live and decide to stick around, things like that. So the biggest thing for me is just being active in other streamers' communities, and then just being present on my Twitter and my Discord and that sort of thing. And then people kind of find me by word of mouth or maybe just through the directory. And then it's just important to make sure they do stick around.
Yep.
Yeah.
So how about Kazu? Do you like promote your own stream?
Okay, so if this is a question asked to help new streamers as to how you actually get your channel started, right? I think that's where the question is coming from.
Yeah.
Where it actually started from, right, was actually when I was still trying to finish serving out my national service. Okay, I was very lucky to have a computer and internet, and I started with a blog. Okay, and I started posting guides because I was playing Dragon Nest back then. This is how I started. I started creating guides for a specific class or a specific thing that I was trying to do, and I kind of figured out what people was looking for. Okay, so from that actual forum post of the guide that I did, I directed people to my blog. Back then, I didn't have a YouTube channel because back then, I think at a point in time, I think about 5 years, 6 years ago, people were actually earning a lot of advertising on blogs. Blogs was a thing. YouTube was not a thing yet. So I started from a blog first. Then I realized, hey, YouTube is growing. Why don't let's try to build a YouTube channel? So I actually did like multi-avenues. Like my forum guides are directing traffic to my YouTube videos, and my YouTube videos are directing traffic to my forum posts. So it's like a dual channel kind of thing. So if you're actually looking to promote your stream or trying to grow your stream, especially if you're brand new, right? Try to Vulcan said, get into the community of the games or the type of games that you're streaming. You see, and you notice that there are a lot of new or upcoming Twitch streamers or YouTubers or anything. They have a lot of highlight videos. They have a lot of guide videos. They do videos about the lore of the game that they're trying to do. And in fact, a lot of my viewers that I've never met before, I personally feel that you shouldn't try and bet on the fact that people will get to your channel organically from the directory, because that is like too much risk. Like if you really want to plan for success in a sense, you really want to have more than one channel. Like Discord is good, Discord community is good, but I would say that if you want to grow from bottom up, definitely have a YouTube channel. Try to get into the forums, the community. I wouldn't really say Reddit, because Reddit is like sometimes can be quite toxic, that kind of stuff. But try to get to the forums. Try to get to know people in the forums. And what I did back then before I did Twitch, I started from YouTube and then YouTube to Twitch, right? Was that I told people who are responding in my forum chats that if you have any additional questions, email me. And literally, my channel had 0 subscribers on YouTube. Right? I told them, after I answer 10 back and forth questions, they have back and forth questions, I was grinding it out. One person email me, I'll reply that email, will reply in as in depth as possible. So that's you earn your first subscriber. I say, hey, if I actually helped you, why don't you subscribe to my YouTube channel? So similarly, if you're a Twitch stream and you do YouTube videos and you tell people to ask you any questions in the comments, replying to those comments personally, you will get not everybody will bother, but you might get lucky and you get someone that actually really appreciates you. He will come to your Twitch channel and he can be a very it's the viewer that you're looking for, basically. It's the community, the people that you're trying to attract, the community that you're trying to build. So
Yeah.
make sure that you're just not depending on Twitch. Yeah, I would say that try to go like multi-channels, get into forums, get into making YouTube highlights, so that you have more opportunities. Yeah, and that will definitely increase your rate of success. Yeah,
Sure.
and increase your viewership and ultimately sustain your stream.
Yeah, that's very true there.
Marcus, how do you reach like more exposure for your stream?
More
Sure.
exposure. From what Kaze and Vulcan says, thank you so much. They point out a lot of things. The fundamental thought is you want to start your own community, but to start it, you have to join one. You can't just out of nowhere,
Right.
your community comes out of the blue. It doesn't just magically pops up and bam. Given for example, you want to take the biggest stars from a different platform. Take the biggest star from YouTube, PewDiePie. You take the biggest star on Twitch, Lyric. What do these two have in common? They started somewhere. They started somewhere small. If you look back at these two guys, they all started with two common games like Call of Duty, Minecraft, CS. They started with those forums. They started with those communities. They started chatting with those people. You're gonna join a community to start one. When I joined a community, I told myself that I'm a member. I'm not an executive. I'm not the leader. I'm not someone who wants to become someone. I'm someone who wants to get along with people and join and be with that community. And then from there, it builds up. You join another one, talk to them. You join another one, you talk to them. And then you build more people from there. You'd be funny how you can find like, hey, the amount of your viewers, your people, they would say, hey, we like you, we're part of your community, but we're also part of other communities. Then they show like these other emotes from different people. I'm surprised. The amount of people that sub to a lot of other people, I was surprised. Sometimes I've seen people who sub to channels that I sub to, and I've never seen them before in my chat when I'm chatting with them in their channels. So you'd be surprised. Networking from one person to another, it takes time, but it's very beneficial in the end result. If you want to consider the use of Facebook, the use of Twitter, the use of Instagram, the use of Snapchat, oh God, dear, why dog eating you out? Oh God. It is absurd how many social medias I get referred to promote. I tell myself there's only one platform that I want people to get notified. It's Twitch, and that's where they will know, oh, you're live, But if you're going to promote, it's obviously going to be everywhere else. But to start with there, you don't just start out of the blue. You need to make friends. To make friends, you're going to go through communities. You're going to go to other people. You're going to go to people who are bigger than you. Maybe you're going to go to people who you don't even know, but have that fundamental standing of a community. That's where you got to start from. You're not going to go out and say, you know what? That guy has a stream team. I want a stream team. Why should you have a stream team? I want to have a stream team. I want to make something today. Done deal. It's not going to happen. It's going to take a while to get there. That's what I'll tell you.
Okay, that's a good point actually. We will go one more question. Let's see, we needed a break. Oh, this is a long question. Okay. What makes you stand out from the other streamers? Are you really good and resourceful on the games you play, or very interactive, or friendly with the viewers, or constantly engaging, your viewers and all that? So what type of streamers are you, and what makes you stand out from the other streamers? Would you share with us, Vulcan?
I definitely try to take a more interactive approach because I just discovered as much as I try to play PUBG or CS:GO or Hearthstone, I'm not quite that level. That being said, I really try to interact with chat just all the time. I've got a couple of different programs and systems I run to try to keep track of everything and respond to everybody and just be as interactive as I can be. And my whole goal going into streaming was to do my best to be the same person on stream and off stream. You know, the Vulcan you see is the Vulcan you get kind of thing. And I really try to do that as much as possible, whether it's like keeping, you know, responding on Discord, my Twitch, you know, BMs being open, all that kind of thing. I'm very variety also. I've seen a lot of people who claim to be variety, and they've been playing PUBG for 3 months straight, which is fine. That doesn't mean you're not variety, but I've seen a lot of variety streamers who end up playing the same thing, whereas I play multiple games every week. I've played PUBG. I do Mario Kart on Mondays. I do we've been playing some indie games like Darkwood. I've done Bloodborne. I've done Wolfenstein. Dauntless has been a big one lately. All kinds of things. Just all the different sections. I cover a lot of different things from kind of darker, more mature games to Splatoon 2. So there's very much kind of something that everyone's going to enjoy watching at some point on the schedule. There's going to be something you'll probably enjoy, a game that's going to be kind of up your alley. Okay. That and my devilishly handsome good looks are pretty much my claim to fame. I guess.
Oh yeah, and don't not forgetting Han Yu, your cat as well. It's always welcome.
Yeah, it's sort of a stream joke. My cat likes to hop up, and he'll sit directly on my mouse. And then if I try to play, he bites me because, you know, that's his form of encouragement. And it's become sort of a stream joke. He'll jump up, he'll get right in the camera. I'm surprised you guys haven't seen him yet. He'll probably be in here at some point.
Funny.
And there's something about streamers, a lot of people who have cats or whatever, that just becomes like a running community thing in the channel.
It's because you're moving a mouse, that's it.
Yep. Wrong kind of mouse.
I think I sort of agree with you because I've been subscribing to streamers that has cats. I don't know. I'm not sure whether it is a trend or streamers are, you know, all fans. I mean, streamers only like cats and not other stuff. But yeah. Come to Kazu. What do you think that makes you stand out from the other streamer?
I think it brings back to the point where I mentioned, like in the beginning of this podcast, right, where it's about knowing yourself. So, personally, I'm not the most humorous person. I'm definitely I'll be honest with you, quite boring in that sense. But one thing that I know that I'm very, very good at is about being very open and being able to share my experiences in a very insightful and in-depth manner to my viewers. Anytime my viewers ask me a question, they know that I'll give them a very, very in-depth answer and sharing. And I share it, like my viewers always be very curious about, how did you and your girlfriend get together? How did two of you, you know, be able to sustain for 8 years? What are some of the things that can happen, you know? Like this podcast, they'll ask me questions that are in this podcast, and I'll always be able to share with them my personal experiences. Like I'll tell them why I dropped out of university. I tell them that I actually spent an additional year in college, which is junior college, why I retained and share with them the story. And ultimately, I feel that like why am I sharing in that sense, or why am I quote unquote good in sharing my experiences, is because ultimately I don't want what happened to me to happen to that person as well. And if let's say this person have had this, you know, unhappiness or this hardship that he's going through, he knows that there's someone out there that is able to understand what he's going through as well. And I think that's one part about my stream that is very, very unique. And I think that's what makes me stand out from other streamers, that I'm very open and I'm able to like connect with my viewers in that way. Yeah.
Okay. The viewers out there would like to remind you guys again, if you have any question, just, you know, pop in the chat room and remember to tag any of us so that we can take it for and read it on live here. So coming back, Vakas, do you think that you have something that is different from the other streamers because you are doing quite mainstream stuff like PUBG, all the popular games? So what makes you stand out?
Well, at first, when first starting out, you know, I jumped into the Overwatch scene, and I jumped in a bit late after the beta started, so it didn't really catch on. So I changed it completely to variety, and the reason why I'm jumping onto all these mainstream games like PUBG and all this, it's not because I'm jumping into the hype of it, like, oh hey, you know, that streamer's playing, so I should play it too. I'll become famous that way. None of that. It all like depends on what everyone wants to play, or what my friends want to play, what people want to play. And I tell myself, you see a new game that you haven't tried, or an old game, and you finally have the chance to buy it, and you want to play it so badly. Your community goes to your Discord and spams the crap out of you of what game they want to play with you today. That's me daily, every time. Like the moment before I'm going live, and they're like, "Oh, what you playing? What you playing? Oh, let's play PUBG. Let's play PUBG." I'm like, "Oh dear God, I want Fortnite so bad."
Guess I'm playing PUBG again.
Every time that happens, I tell myself, "I'm not gonna enjoy this."
That's why they love you, right?
Yeah, 5 hours later, we're still playing the game, and we're like, "Why are we still beating each other with pans?" It comes to the point that you just gonna go on to play games with friends. And for me, the unique thing about myself when I'm streaming is I'm open to being very friendly to people, and I'm very gullible. You can write something in chat and I'll believe you. If you say you're a pig holding a taco as a hat and wearing a burrito for a nose, I would say, yeah, I believe you there. It just comes to the point that whatever people say, I shouldn't take it too seriously and I shouldn't take it literally. I'm just going to take it naturally, just going to respond in just a calm way unless it gets too serious. I'm the kind of person who would say my schedule all depends on what I feel like I want to play today, but then 80% becomes of what everyone else wants to play.
Yeah,
It's pretty much that.
I guess that's even though it's not good, you don't get to play what you want to play, but I guess that's what makes you stand out from the other streamers, because they don't get to play stuff with the other streamers. So yeah, this is also one of your good traits, I guess. Guys, I don't know whether I can extend this podcast because we got a few questions more. So if you agree, then we can go on like for maybe 2 to 3 questions, maybe. What do you guys think? Can we
That's fine.
can we go ahead?
I'm good.
Maybe another 15 minutes, right? Because we start late as well, so
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, this one is what I like to hear, and also I think this is the highlight as well. The question the highlighted question of the podcast. Are you Twitch affiliated or partnered? Share with us your journey to affiliation and partnership. So Vulcan,
Let's hear all the stories. I love this one.
Oh boy. Well, I'm an affiliate. I'm not partnered yet. My journey to that point. So like I said, when I started, affiliate wasn't a thing. And I started. Oh boy. Let's see here. All the way back to the beginning. So when I first discovered Twitch, I found it because I was really big into Hearthstone. And I was like, oh, I'm pretty good at Hearthstone. And then I started watching some of the pros on Twitch play, and I was like, I'm really bad at Hearthstone. So I started like trying to pick up some strategies. I watched like a little bit of Mario Maker, that kind of thing. And I originally, like full confession, I was like, this looks kind of cool, but I don't think I would really want to do it. And but I kept watching Twitch, and it's one of those things we were talking earlier about, like donating and subbing. I feel like you don't really understand Twitch until you become a part of it. It's hard to explain to people. Mm-hmm. And so I kept watching Twitch and everything, and I had this goes a little bit into why I started streaming, but my job at the time, along with a lot of career paths, I feel like it was a little bit about making connections. It's just as much who you know and who you talk to as what you do and how you do it. And I was never, frankly, very good at making casual conversation. Just walking up, talking to people. Hey, how's your day going? How's work? Whatever, just that kind of talking. And I thought, there's one thing I can talk all day about, and that's video games. So why don't I try to get out of my bubble a little bit? Maybe this will help me as a person. And so I started, and after a couple of streams, I really loved it. I really kind of fell in love with it. There was a little bit of an adrenaline rush at first. It was kind of a thing. I met some really cool people who dropped by, and it went from something that I sort of did because I enjoyed it because I was trying to improve myself to something I had a passion for. And so it went from, I'll stream every couple of weeks to a regular part-time schedule, and then eventually my wife was getting her master's degree at the time, and we were engaged. She got her degree, and she proceeded to get a job out of state and decided to accept it. So I quit my job, and we moved, and I was going to go back to school. And because of the school schedule and because I was taking courses online, I was able to go full-time in the meantime. And so I started doing that, and it started growing. I didn't have a lot of ambitions starting it other than improving my ability to talk to people. And it just sort of naturally evolved from there to, I'm actually talking to viewers, to even outside of stream, just things like, smiling at people when I walk by them on the sidewalk, and making more connections with people. And so I started streaming more and more and hitting that full-time mark. And then the affiliate program got announced, and I thought, I don't want to get blown away by this or super absorbed into it, because then I risk getting really disappointed if I don't get it or letting it affect my streams. Yeah. So I made a note of it, and I just kind of filed it away. I was like, maybe that'll be really cool. And then I got the notification thing like midstream one day, a little while after it was announced, saying, you've worked really hard, and we're going to offer you affiliate status. And I was like, that's awesome. That's the first, other than like a partnership, that's because you, as an affiliate, you still have a contract, you still have like the paperwork, and it was like, there's something tangible that I did this thing, I did this thing. So I really feel like affiliate came with me growing as a person just as much as the stream growing and everything, because when I started, when I made my Twitch channel and I put, Vulcan_210, because for some reason Vulcan210 and Vulcan.210 and every other variation was taken and I can't find them anywhere.
Sucks.
That person is not the same person I am today, in a good way. Your channel and your identity kind of grow through that. And as I became more confident and I became more, when I first started, I would not eat on stream. I would, like, going into a stream without a plan was scary. Like, not knowing what I was going to play and just turning on the stream, I was like, oh no, I don't know what's going to happen. And so I would like hard code, all right, today I'm playing this, today I'm playing that. And now I can kind of turn on the stream and talk, and if sometimes if we want to play something different, I can kind of switch things up on the fly and that kind of thing. But it felt like affiliate just came as a natural part of the channel. Like as when I got it, I was like, yeah, I think we're ready for this. I think this is right. And just putting in those hours, having that community, and having that confidence to kind of experiment with the channel a little bit and trying to push it in new directions, all kind of went hand in hand together.
There's a viewer asking why 210.
Why 210? So, the Vulcan part came from a TV show that I watched. I think on the off chance anybody knows, I think it was called Zoids. I was a kid. And there was a Vulcan cannon, which is like an electric-powered Gatling gun or something, and it was used as like a high attack power, very mobile weapon. And I played DPS characters all the time, so I was like, oh, high attack power mobility, that's me. So I took that, and it wasn't till like a year later when I started messing around on RuneScape that I realized the Star Trek references that I had doomed myself to for eternity. And then Vulcan is taken pretty much universally. So the 210 is part of the street that I grew up on, just to differentiate the username.
Oh, okay. So I think Kazu has shared with us part of his journey to Twitch partnership, I think, in the beginning. But do you have something else to add on? I mean, when you experience, you finally get that contract. Wow, this is my hard work finally paid off. So yeah, how do you feel, or what kind of hard work that you put in?
I think just want to talk about how I was like replying to every email in terms of the questions that I get from the game that I was like creating content for, and I started from there. How do I feel about it? I think I really grinded my way out of it, but to be honest with you, when I got my Twitch partnership, it kind of felt like I quote unquote cheated. Like I always get a lot of people coming to my channel because like how the actual
Okay.
requirements is that you need like 300 or 400 concurrent viewers, or you have 100,000 YouTube subscribers. My YouTube channel only had like 30,000 plus or 40,000 subscribers at that time, so I didn't meet any other requirements. So I will get some people coming to my channel and be like, "Hey, how do you get partner?" This was before where Twitch affiliated came in. Sometimes I'll get quite annoyed at it because at the same time it seemed as though I kind of got it through connections, but it also didn't mean that I didn't work very hard for it. I actually worked really hard for it. It's just that in my region, it was just especially hard, and maybe I wasn't lucky enough or anything, but I knew that I actually worked really hard for it, and I couldn't get it. So when I actually spent 1 year on another streaming platform to like grinding it out, I felt like that prepared me very well when I actually finally get partnered on Twitch. So yeah, I think what Balkan said was very true, that on your path to getting your sub button, on your path to getting your Twitch affiliation, or your path of getting started to stream on Twitch, you actually really grow as a person. And when you finally get it, it's like you feel that you finally got to, even though it's kind of like a check mark or a milestone, but at the same time it's also the beginning of something. Okay, I'm here now. It's time to continue the next path. So
it's not the end of the journey.
It's the start of the journey, even though.
Right.
Yeah. And I just want to add on one thing about this sub button thing about getting partnered is that on Hitbox, right, which is like a rival or different streaming platform to Twitch. One of the reasons why I actually went from Hitbox to Twitch, even though I actually started on Twitch in the first place, but I couldn't get a partner, as I mentioned earlier on, is that eventually Hitbox actually gave the subscription button to everybody. And it is then that I realized why Twitch actually have a requirement to either being a Twitch affiliate or being a Twitch partner. Because if you give something to everybody, this means that they actually didn't go through that that self-improvement process or journey that we had to eventually get the affiliation or the partnership. And because you didn't go through that journey of like self-improvement, of trying to actually know who you are or what your stream is about and everything, because you didn't go through that, and actually a lot of people take it for granted, and your stream itself will not actually feel that remember I mentioned about how your viewers and your stream actually level up with you as your stream grows. They actually don't get that. It was only when I finally got partnered on Twitch that I realized, when I look back, that this is why Hitbox is not growing, because they just give it to everybody. It's not special anymore. You don't actually work to get partnered, and because you don't work to get partnered, you give up everything that you give it up very easily because you didn't work for it, or because Twitch requires you to work for it. In that sense, it actually filters out the people that actually do not know if they really want to do streaming full time. Because you will actually try it out first, and if you know that you really like it, or you know that you can make it work, then you will stay on long enough to get affiliated, to get partnered. And those that actually, I won't say all of them, but most of them who actually didn't make it in that sense, that they probably would have given up anyway. So I think it's very important that everyone goes through that journey. So don't be frustrated if you don't get your sub button. Just continue to work hard, and I think that journey of improving yourself and getting to know yourself better, like Vulcan said, when you first put out your webcam, you have no plans, you're very nervous. When I first had my webcam, it was like one square. I was very scared. You don't know whether you look good on stream. You feel very awkward. But now it's like if you have webcam, it's all cool. Yeah. So the journey of self improvement is actually very enlightening. So that's something that I just want to share.
Okay. Thanks for your sharing though. Marcus, I remember you saying that you got your partnership like in 7 months.
Ooh.
That's really a short time. How did you achieve it? I mean, what kind of hard work? I mean, you've been when you started streaming, you go straight like 12 hours stream and non-stop and all that. But did you compromise anything for it to get to get the partnership?
I think when it came to the journey in itself, it all started when I started making friends here and there, and in particular, there was this one guy who would follow me to whatever channel we would go to. We would raid channels, we would talk to people. He had a thing for girls, obviously. So when we went around and we met this girl. She was a streamer, and she had her partnership at about 400 followers, and I was like, whoa, she must have done something to get that. And he was thinking the nasty, and I was like, there must be a proper explanation. Don't go there. So we did a bit of background check. We noticed that she had like 10 to 15K likes on a Facebook page, and we noticed she was a cosplayer, and we're like, okay, cool. So having the regular YouTube status, the really high YouTube status, and the really high public figure status, that gets you somewhere. For me, it was perseverance and grinding, like what Kaze has done. And to me, when this guy, he tells me, apply for partnership. And I told him, at that time I was like 200 plus followers, and at that time that number kind of mattered because you want to see yourself at a bigger amount of community, a bigger amount of people coming to see you, and then that's when you want to push for it. But he tells me, no, just keep applying, be a total insect to Twitch, be that one pest that keeps poking their butts and say, let me in now. So I went on my own business, went on playing, streaming for however long, and every other 2 weeks I applied, and every time the application was different. My description would be different. It would say I do this, do this, do this, and at one point I do this, do this. I applied under different categories. Sometimes I applied for creative, because at one point I did do creative for a while, but then I kept applying on gaming because I stick to that category for a longer time. And when it went on and on and on and on and on, after countless amounts of applications, if I were to count them, it were 16 applications. That was throughout all those months I've applied. And when I finally reached to that point when I did get partnered, less than 1,000 followers, it did feel really remarkably fake. I didn't believe it. But after it really happened, I told myself, I see this guy, he's got a butt ton of people, and I achieved it within a small amount of time with a small amount of community. How was that ever done? It came to the point to tell me, like, they don't look for concurrent viewers so much, depending on what region you're on. They don't look at how big your community is going to be, how large your amount of followers are. And they don't look at who you are. They just want to know if you want to be a full-time streamer. Do you have what it takes to get up and start streaming for God knows however long? And for me, it looked kind of bad because after the partnership hit, my stream time went down and down and down and down, because real life started to go up and up and up and up, and I was like, yeah, the balance is quite falling here. So throughout the journey, it was remarkably insane, but at the same time, for me, it was frustrating because people would barge at me and say, you don't deserve it. You did not earn your way. You cheated. You cried like a little baby and asked so many times to Twitch, and they actually gave it to you because they were fed up. Twitch is not like that. They will respond to you. I'm not sure how many times, Kazi, you applied and told you got it, or did you get it the first time. But when the rejection emails came, there was a pattern. You could see there are auto messages, and then in between I could see there were personal messages coming to me. They said, improve on this, and I said, what? They actually responded? It takes a while to get Twitch to notice you, to say, you know what, he's disturbing, and let me tell him what he needs to improve before he comes back to me. It comes to the point that you gotta improve yourself, and then you get there. And for me, it was just insane. Certain amount of games got me there. The first one, which has been notified in chat, is Clash of Clans. I jumped into that randomly because I said, hey, I can play Android games on PC, and it skyrocketed. More people came asking questions like, well, Kaze, when people participate, they ask you questions because they want to rely on you. They really want to support you. They really want to hear your opinion, what you think, and they know that they can get the right answer or the answer they're looking for from you. And looking back at all the games I've played, and it was amazing. But when I started for the partnership, it was insane. People didn't believe, and they just straight up wanted to backstab me. I said no. Just leave that be. You go on your own way. If people are gonna go saying that, no, this is supposed to be done this way, like they said, oh, you need the concurrent viewership, you need this, you need this. No, I tell people the simple question what every time I get whenever I go live streaming: how did you get partnered? I tell them, you apply. That's the end of it. You don't tell them your strategy. You don't tell them everything. If they want to know more, they come to podcasts like this. That's it. It's the end of it. You want an answer? You look up. You don't go to a streamer and say, how did you get partnership? What did you do? And I'm like, do you see apply partnership right there? That's what you click.
So true.
That's pretty much about it.
Yeah, I think perseverance and persistence come in really big help. Comes in really big help on the partnership application as well. And yeah, don't be sad or don't be down when you get the rejection. Actually, it's good for you because as Varkas says that in the email, rejection email, they will actually put in some pointers for you, like which area you should improve on, and what kind of numbers that you need, or what else, other stuff. They actually care. Actually, when they say something like that, when they rejected you, not because of you're not good enough, is that there's always room for improvement. So yeah, take note on that. Don't just like, oh, this is a rejection email, I don't even want to know, and just delete it. No, make sure that you read it carefully and what kind of pointers that they are pointing out, and make sure that you really put effort into it to improve, and keep on applying. Not like, oh, applying 1 or 2 times, that's it, just give up. No, because you need to show them how much you want this. How much you want this, not by, not just in 1 or 2 shots, but every time until you get it, like Varkas or Kazu did. I've seen a lot of other streamers as well. They wrote tons of essays, right, so long every time they apply, and they'll prepare a few kinds of essays, and then each time they get a rejection, they'll send another one. And then each time they get another one, they'll rotate different essays. So yeah, but I also met streamers that really pour their heart out in writing what they do best. In order for them to realize this is what they really do in life, and they are bringing this and this to the community. So make them see it, make them feel like you want this so much, so badly. Then the day that you got partnership, that you'll be like, Varkas, is this real? Like, I couldn't believe it. I only done it like 16 times. I only sent it 16 times. So don't give up. Just keep on going, keep sending, that you eventually get it. So we are down to 2 more questions. Let's see. 1 more. Okay. This is, I think, most of you is easier. How do you deal with trolls or generally not so nice people? Okay, even though they tip you, even though they give you bits, they sub you, but they're just being a pain in the ass. How do you deal with them? Balkan, did you experience that?
Well, for people who aren't, like, haven't been long-standing parts of the community or are subbed or whatever, if you hop into the stream and the first thing you do in my channel is post a link to porn or something, you're not here for the stream. Let's be real. You're not here to watch me. Yeah, so we're just gonna give you a hand out the door, and that's that. As far as people who are kind of hard, it's kind of harder because they're in the stream, they're part of the community. I think timeouts go a long way there, because in my point of view, timeouts are not personal. That's maybe we crossed a line a little bit, maybe things are getting a little too rowdy, maybe we need to get things back on track. It's just sort of a way to steer chat just a little bit. And then if you really, I've rarely had this happen, but it does happen. Where you need to ban somebody or do something. At the end of the day, even if they're a sub, even if they're a follower and a supporter, you can't. I feel like you can't let one person bring down the entire channel and the entire community. Whatever your vision is that you're running, you can't sacrifice everything and everybody else's enjoyment for one person, regardless, because then the whole thing falls apart. And I try to always be open to talking to people if they message me, whatever. Chances are, honestly, if I've banned you or something and you reach out to me and say, "Hey, I'm banned, I would rather not be," just by virtue of the fact that you took the effort out the time to reach out to me and say something, that alone, unless you did something just really horrendous, that alone, I'll just be like, yeah, sure, okay, welcome back. But I think it really comes back to that. Is as much as it does really suck having to deal like that with somebody who has been there for a while or who is a big foundation of the community. If they are, and usually my chat, and I know a lot of people will kind of realize that this person is sort of causing a problem, and we'll usually have your back on that, and your mods will as well. And so it's almost everybody sort of sees it coming, at least in my experience. And you kind of have to just chalk it up to growing pains, chalk it up to, like I said, not letting one person tarnish this entire otherwise really good experience, and move on, and not let it not give. Sometimes people want attention, not give them the attention that they want. You click a few buttons and you keep going. You try to keep having fun, and then if it continues to be a problem or they reach out to you, you deal with it off stream and you message each other and you handle it that way.
So
Yeah.
for Kazu, have you encountered any trolls in your stream, and what are your experience dealing with them?
Right, say no more.
I think I have a wealth of experience. Okay, let me share with you guys why I have a wealth of experience, alright? So remember I talked about how this entire thing has been a journey. When I first started my YouTube channel, I actually did commentary for like PvP in Dragon Nest, player versus player in Dragon Nest. And if you actually go watch my first player versus player commentary, like live shoutcasting, that kind of stuff, it is really, really awful. Like I can't even stand myself when I watch it now. So I think first and foremost, let's go back to what Vulcan mentioned. You have to really filter out those that are just there being a troll and just being an idiot, you know. Like let me share with you how do you do the filtering, alright? First you click on his Twitch handle and see when did he create his Twitch profile. If it's within a month, within a few weeks, just go ahead and ban it. Don't waste our time. Alright? That's the first thing. So you just need to determine whether is it that kind of troll first. Like people who are just bored on the internet, you know, they type the /me just donated X number of dollars to see whether you get cheated, that kind of stuff. There's a lot of trolls nowadays. So these type of trolls, just you know, show them the door and bye. All right. But what I really want to share about is about, you know, how you react to some criticism or some very, very negative, and you know, it looks as though they are personal attacks. Like on my YouTube channel back then, in my Twitch comments, the most popular comment that you will see is, "I cannot understand what this guy is saying at all," or "Speak slower," or "You have a very strong accent. I do not know what you're trying to say. You're speaking too fast." So you really have to know how to differentiate between the very, very negative personal attack criticism, and don't react very negatively to them. Because at the end of the day, when I do a lot of reflection personally, and I'm like, yeah, this guy actually makes sense. Which is why I said if I actually go back to my first ever shoutcasting video or commentary video that actually sounds super monotonous, I cannot understand myself actually, and I realized that I've come a long way, you know. So I would say sometimes people who actually bother to tell you that you suck, they actually take the effort to tell you that you suck, and you need to appreciate that they actually put in the effort to tell you that, hey, maybe this part you can be better. Take the part where he says you can be better. Don't really look at the very negative or the very, very, you know, personal attack part of the comment. And I think a lot of rising YouTubers or, you know, even Twitch broadcasters, some of them actually take it too personally. Like I know like some YouTubers out there like Total Biscuit, he has high blood pressure because his doctor literally tell him not to read comments. Yeah. So one thing that I've learned from Twitch and YouTube is that ultimately you have to it's a self, you know, discovery journey. the better you know yourself, the better you'll be able to do with such videos. And I think the worst thing that you should do, right, is to pretend that nothing is wrong. Because in the end, you are human. In the end, you're human. And I think like what Vulcan said, usually your viewers will know that this guy is being an ass, and your regular viewers who are, part of the community that you're creating will like back you up. So you don't have to overreact to it, because the most important thing that you don't want to give to such people is attention. Yeah, we don't want to give them the attention that they want. So try to handle them in a very humorous fashion. Like I think one streamer that I want to point out that I've been watching very recently is Cute Dog. Is like, oh, that comment is very toxic. We don't want such toxic comments in our stream. This is a positive mental, attitude stream. We call it a PMA. So he makes a joke out of it. And sometimes when you do it that way, you actually earn yourself another viewer. I think that's one saying that goes around that says that, sometimes your enemy can be your best friend. So I think the ultimate victory that you can have is to actually convert the people that don't like you to understand why they should like you instead. And actually, these are the viewers that might actually stay and be able to appreciate who you really are, because you proved them wrong. So yeah, that's how I think you can deal with trolls and not so nice viewers.
That's really, really useful stuff you said there. Because many a times when I see trolls, I couldn't stand them. But of course, in a nice way, I will ask them to respect the streamers and the community, and ask them nicely, to refrain from using such words, or refrain from doing stuff that that person is doing. So Varkas, I think the first time I've been to your channel, there's like literally a lot of trolls in your channel. So share with us, how do you deal with them, or you're actually trolling with them?
So the day was 2016, August 15th. The day I discovered Twitch. Nah, I'm kidding. I knew Twitch for a long time, but when I got into actually creating an account to actually chat, the first thing I see is all trolls. You go into any chat, even a general chat, even a good person's chat, it's all trolls. So handling in my stream, I do it a few ways. One of it is like what Kaze does: turn your enemy into your best friend. That's what I aim for. I aim for having that +1 coming in more and more often. I actually have a number amount, 6 of them are my top subs, and they all love being racist so much. I don't know why, but it started off as them coming in and saying, "You are one big brown," it just goes on, and I'm like, well, you're very, very smart. I did not know I was big, brown, and fat, but okay. And you take it to a point that you are going to make fun of yourself to make yourself look funny, and they'll be like, you know what? I was gonna say bad things, but I'll sub to you and I'll keep doing it. It's easy. That's one of the ways I deal with it. The other ways is like the 3 strikes, which I think many people like to do.
Yeah.
And what I would get to do, I tell my mods, you ban on my order only. You can time out however long you like, but you ban on my order. And the 3 strikes are usually like the first timeout. I'll be like, so if this guy doesn't come back, we can all keep quiet and we pretend it didn't happen. If he does come back, we greet him with open arms and say, welcome back. If they do get timed out again, I'll be like, very nice. We're trying to time you out. We're not telling you to get lost. We're just telling you to sit in the corner and just think what you did, like normal parents would do. Although my parents don't do that, but okay. They do something way worse. Kaze knows what I'm talking about. Joe, you know what I'm talking about. And you just embrace it. Tell yourself, why just ban them immediately? I know a certain amount of people will be like, we don't want to change such people. We're done. The moment you see something dumb, delete, troll, gone. I'd be like, you're an entertainer. Entertain them and get it done with. And that's about it.
That's a good sharing, guys, from from your experiences about handling trolls and not so nice viewers. So yeah, we cannot go through every questions here. We still have like a few, but
Sure.
this unfortunately will be the last one. And then for viewers out there and gamers or streamers or from any which community you're from, if you have further questions, you can yeah, it'll be appreciated if
Give me
you
a
go
sec.
to their channel and and follow them or sub them. You can PM them or send them the questions that you wanted to ask. So yeah, or you can put in our Discord channel on Fun Devil so that I could direct the questions to the guests as well, because we are running out of time and we want to do this last question. Okay. Did you ever compromise anything in life for the sake of streaming? For examples like social events with friends, or you have to miss family gatherings in order to stream, or even your vet appointments. Have you ever, Vulcan?
Well, this goes back to something Varkas mentioned. You talk about sacrificing something for stream, and the first thing that immediately comes to my mind is I remember sleep. But a little bit, yes. There have been times that there have been get-togethers, be it D&D, be it like a housewarming kind of thing, that I'm like, that coincides with this beta that's releasing, or this coincides with the 24-hour stream, or that kind of thing. There's been every once in a while, outside of stream just a little bit, I do martial arts and a couple of things, and there have been times that I've called in sick to some things when maybe I wasn't sick, so that I could be present to do something that I had decided I wanted to do, or that I had already committed to my community to to participate in. There's definitely some social time with like my wife and friends and stuff that ends up being here, which I try to solve by sometimes my wife is on my streams and we play Mario Kart together and things like that. But Vulcan wasn't sick confirmed, right? So yes, there's definitely, I try not to, don't miss anything you're not going to get back. Don't miss something that you are going to wake up months down the line or next year or whatever, think, man, that was a once in a lifetime thing and I just didn't do it. You've got to do what lets you sleep at night, or not sleep, as the case may be. But it definitely does come down to how much you want to prioritize it. And at some point, because you can't do, not all of us are machines, you can't do everything. You can do a lot of it, but not quite all of it. And you've got to balance, and sometimes you have to prioritize, one thing over another, whether it's, stream over concert or that kind of thing. And something I've found really useful personally is I try to be really transparent when that happens too, particularly if I'm missing a stream or something. If it's like, guys, there's something happening nearby, there's a convention, there's a family gathering, something I really feel like I can't miss. This is why, this is when I'll be back. That kind of thing. And I've seen a lot of streamers, something I thought about as well, particularly like going forward, like for TwitchCon, I've seen a lot of streamers doing IRL streaming while they're at events or doing that kind of thing. There was a wedding that was live streamed the other day. Somebody like live streamed their graduation, which was interesting. So there are ways to compromise with that, if that's your cup of tea, of course.
Yeah.
But if you're going to put the time in that I feel like this requires, if going full time and being partnered, being this being a career path for you is your goal as opposed to a hobby, you're going to have to let some other things go, just like you would a job that you have to go to, and it's like, man, I would love to go to this, but I have to work today. Or you're going to go do that event anyway, and you're going to show up to work tired, just like you would, I've got to work tomorrow, but Destiny 2 launches at midnight. Guess I'm not sleeping. You're gonna have to do some things. There's a little give and take.
Okay. What about you, Kazu? Have you ever compromised anything for streaming?
The thing is,
Hashtag
for me,
achievements.
right, personally, the schedule itself actually makes you compromise a lot of things. I think the most I've compromised is interpersonal relationship. Because when people are having their rest time, I'm working. Which means when people are out partying, I'm streaming. That means every time they go hang out, I cannot go hang out with them. For example, I've actually, during my Dragon Nest times, right, I actually have this group of friends whom we actually got very close to, like, because they will go to tournaments together, we'll hang out together, we'll go for dinners together, and that kind of stuff. And there was one particular time where I actually made an effort to, like, one of them was actually from Malaysia, so he come down to Singapore and stay over at their group of friends' house, and then they will hang out together, like, they'll show him around Singapore and that kind of stuff. I cannot join them. So when I try to join them, I'll join them for, like, dinner or lunch, and when they meet me, they'll be like, hey, you disappeared, that kind of thing. I feel really bad, but at the end of the day, it's not that I seek their understanding. It's something that I cannot. It's just, you have to make a choice, right? You have to make a choice.
Yeah.
So I sacrifice a lot of human relationship stuff when I do streaming, especially as a Singaporean. And I think some of them are actually watching. I'm not trying to make them feel bad or anything, but I feel very, 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 very bad.
They understand. I'm sure they understand you.
No,
Pretty sure.
And I think that's the thing I sacrifice the most. The second thing that I think all streamers will sacrifice is their health. A lot of viewers, right, once they've experienced a 12-hour live stream or 24-hour live stream with you, they will always try, hey, Kazu, when's the next 24-hour live stream? When is the next 12-hour live stream? When is the next whichever hours live stream? I did something called, I actually got inspired this from Dan's game. He calls it the subathon. For every subscriber that subscribed to your channel, or for every X number of donation, you add 1 hour or every 30 minutes. So what I did was back then was every subscriber that I had, first that was when I first got my sub button on Hitbox, and I was doing a Bloodborne stream on my PS4 setup, which is like everything was very expensive to set up. Like I needed to get an PC and that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, I did, I think, 28 hours. Yeah. And the thing that I learned from all my 24-hour live streams that I've done so far is that it is very, 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 very detrimental to your health. So every time when my viewers ask me for a 24-hour live stream, I'll try to help them understand that unless it's something really, really special, a streamer shouldn't actually constantly do 24-hour live streams. I think you guys have heard in the Twitch community, Bike Man, he had to do a heart bypass surgery because Bike Man actually plays a lot of Korean MMOs, a lot of hard grind MMOs or games that you'll spend hours, like Ark, some survivor type games, and you'll stream like 16 hours, 18 hours, and you'll go into the 24 hours. Not that he's forced to do it, he loves to play and he loves to stream it, that's why he does it, but it can really, really affect our health. So for me personally, I will try to make sure that I at least exercise once a week, make sure that I'm still fit, you know, and at the end of the day, you don't want to, like I think Varkas mentioned, you don't want to die streaming, doing streaming. And make sure that you keep your health in check. So this is just an advice to anybody that is a streamer. 24-hour streams are good for, you know, building and growing a channel, but make sure that it is worth that 24 hours. And if you know that it's going to affect you health-wise, just be prepared to like make sure you rest. And yeah, you know, you can I think a lot of streamers always do, like, you know, a new game comes out and they're like, hey, let's do a 24-hour live stream, Destiny 2 is out, kind of thing. But I think what's very important that I've learned so far in streaming is that you need to pace yourself. A 9-hour stream for 30 days is better than you doing like 2 24-hour live streams, and then within that 30 days you feel awful for the entire week. Like after a 24-hour live stream, you'll feel awful for the entire week because your body is trying to heal. And your streamer, no, you'll feel super tired, you'll be very, very easily triggered and everything. So yeah, don't, as much as you compromise your health, don't, make sure that, you know, there's a balance in the end. I think you need to strike that balance in the end. And at the end of the day, it's a marathon. Pace yourself. A regular stream is better than going for 24 hours and then just disappear for a couple of days. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
very true that.
What about you, Varkas?
Well, it's a touchy subject because I've compromised a lot. I try, and usually I'm like a total douche. I'll be like, no, I'm avoiding you. I'm avoiding what you do in life. I'm gonna sit in my room. I'm gonna stream, and that's it. And I avoided a lot of family. I avoided my mother and my father for a long while, just streaming, like legit. Just I avoided everything. I just closed it out and just focused on this and just had fun a lot. And when it came back to reality, you know, reality will kick your butt in no time. You want to avoid it however much you want. It'll kick you really hard and tell you, the hell are you doing? Immediately. So there was a time, not very long ago, very recently, I moved to a different state, which I needed to do it to compromise for the relationship my mom and dad have. So I was like, move with the dad or move with the mom, or try and live out somewhere and earn by cleaning toilets. I'll pick the mom. So after making a total decision, moving states, and I knew what was going to sacrifice, what was going to compromise is less stream time, less uptime. I was not going to give it up. I wanted to bring it back, but it's taking quite a time. So when I'm compromising for family, it's difficult. It's difficult, I would say. For family, especially growing up in an Asian family, it's very difficult. Like, not very long ago, my mom walked in. It's like, it's 1 o'clock. What are you doing? It's bedtime. Okay. I didn't know I had bedtimes, but okay. It's when it comes to like friends, socially, it's actually easier to avoid friends because you can just tell them no, and they'll be like, "Are you okay? Are you doing all right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine," because they would like after a while they just whoop, they're gone. Parents and family would just keep poking at you. It's to a point like what Kaze says. You work at night when people are asleep. It's exactly like how I like it. When people are asleep, they don't want to bother me, and they will not bother me because they just can't and will not. Compromising is very hard when it comes to streaming and doing something that other people would seem that it's a waste of time, so to say. So it's not easy, I would say.
Yeah. This is actually a serious question to all people who wanted to start the stream, that they should consider things in life or in reality that they need to compromise in order to achieve what they like doing on the stream. So yeah, I think that's all for the time that we have. We are actually extended to an hour late, but it's okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, I appreciate you guys for staying this long with us. And I want to shout out to Fun Devil as well, for the goodwill and hospitality, the space for me to organize this and host this podcast to the community. And I have to thank all of you as well, especially the podcast guests, namely Vulcan 210, Kazu Aikawa, and also Vakas for being awesome and bringing a lot of content and also positivity to the community, and inspiring a lot of people out there. Yep, keep up the good job and keep going. Yeah, and also for you guys, the gamers and also the viewers out there, for staying with us such a long time, and keep the keep the chat alive, I mean. And if you have more questions, please do not throw them away. You can still PM me or on the Discord or in my channel, as well as on my Facebook page. And I urge you guys to go and check it out. Check out Vulcan's channel, Kazu channels, and also Vaka's channel. Go and sub them or follow them at least. And yeah, check out what they do actually. So yeah, that's all. Have it, you guys. And if the times permits, maybe we'll have another session, because this is really very resourceful and informative to all the gamers out there that wanted to start streaming, and also breaking the barriers and stereotypes as well. So yeah, and what else did I miss? I actually wanted to commission maybe maybe an artist to do a compilation video for you guys, like in the beginning of the podcast. But it's okay. So if you guys have someone in mind to introduce, you can pass the contact to me so that I can make a compilation video of you guys doing your stream, your victory moments, or your how to say, kind of like Twitch fails moments, but in a fun way. So yeah, that's the time for us, everyone. Time to say goodbye, and I'll see you guys next month. Bye, guys.
See you around, Joe. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us. Thanks to Putra for the behind-the-scenes technical wizardry.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is so awesome.
Oh yeah, I forgot the last words. It's okay then. It's okay. But